Live from Hollywood, California, VJ Vernon Husky, the Big Vanilla Funnies, Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Who am I? The girls them sugar. How can I make love to a fella in a rush? Pass me the keys to my.
Y'all remember the old Jamaican movie? Everybody used to do this shit right here.
And I will make love to precious. You a bubble get ready.
I ain't never played no Beanie Man. No, you can't say Beanie Man. It's Beanie Man. Beanie Man. The VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, man. Now I'm just messing around with y'all, man. What's going on, everybody, man? VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, live on Spreaker.com, live on iHeartRadio. Great show for you guys lined up today. I want to thank everybody tuning into my Vesta Sports page channel on YouTube. Everybody right here that's on the Big Vanilla Funny IG joining into the show. Shout out to my man Aqua, two beautiful kings back east, man. Stand-up comedian, just a good all-around dude. Funny quick story about this dude. I hope he's still watching right now. I've never, ever heard a man admit openly why he won't go back to his ex. And I'm not going to put his business out there and tell people what the reason is, but the way I've never heard anybody explain it the way this dude explained it to me. You guys know me. I'm like, hey, you know what happened with you and the wife? Or when people get divorced, I'm, oh, you couldn't work it out. You know, I'm like, Vanilla Brothers, light skin dude. We want to fix shit. We want to be sentimental. We want to help you. Want to fix things. And he was like, nah, it's cool, I'm good on that, blah, blah, blah. And then he went to the reasons why, like I said, I ain't gonna put his business out, but hilarious, man. It was the funniest, and it was so real. And it's probably how a lot of men feel. They just say it differently. He said it as direct and straightforward as he could, and I love him for that, man. Once again, I want to thank everybody tuning in to VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct. I am your host, VJ Vernon Husky, a.k.a. the Big Vanilla Funny, a.k.a. the Big Vanilla Shaq, a.k.a. the Creamy Kobe, a.k.a. the Blue Eye Barkley, a.k.a. Mr. Never Shut Up, a.k.a. VH's Top Talk Boy, a.k.a. the Big Vanilla Handsome. Y'all see me? Yeah. Lined up, fresh, nice and glistening today. That's that natural almond oil. You got it. See that skin? See that 40-plus-year-old skin? That's that natural almond oil right there. You got to get some of that. And also, to the Big Vanilla color card, because I got a deck of them shits. And sometimes in life, they need to be dealt out. And when they do, I am your Vegas dealer. So, we'll start today's show with Russ Westbrook. Russ Westbrook wants out of Houston. Things don't seem to be going so well there. I'm not sure that I'm completely buying it, but I guess you gotta go with the story. But I'm gonna swing this also to Mike D'Antoni. And no, I'm not gonna blame Mike D'Antoni because I think that's been overdone. No, I'm not gonna blame everything on D'Antoni and say it's D'Antoni's fault. D'Antoni can't coach, and that's what most people want to go to, is they want to blame Mike D'Antoni. I had a discussion with a friend of mine recently about coaching, and he's on the side that coaching is it's overrated. His coach is overrated. You gotta have to. It's not about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmys and Joes. And I'm like, okay, I get that. I think it's about everything. I really hate trying to pick a side, whether it was Brady or Belichick. It's like, oh, now it looks like Brady won. Nah, Belichick didn't lose Brady. He lost Brady. He lost Gronk. He lost Patrick Chung, all-pro safety and defensive back play corner. He lost 5 starters on his defense to free agency. 3 other guys on defense opted out. He's got 8 new starters on defense. They've lost every receiver, no running back. Sony Michel's dad was killed in a car accident. The mom was in the damn coma. Like, that franchise has really dealt with a lot this year, and a lot of haters will sit around and say, oh, they're happy for it. I don't know if I'm ever really happy for a team to do really bad. Maybe Duke, Ohio State, some of the rival teams that I don't like to my team in certain sports. I think that's really the only two. I don't really have an NBA team that I rival against. I'm a Pistons fan. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I really rival against anybody as far as that goes. I don't really rival against a tennis star. My guy's Rafael Nadal. I don't really rival against a female tennis star. I just fuck with Serena Venus Williams. And then, of course, Coco Brown. And I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her name. The Asian and black young lady who just won the U.S. Open, Osaka. That's how I don't really have a rival in those sports. It's really just college basketball, college football, because that's really where rivals are real. Only rival in the NBA is the Celtics and the Lakers. So there's nothing there that I can really pinpoint to dislike or hate. But about Russ and about coaching and about some of these other things coming off of what I was just saying about the Patriots, but D'Antoni really seemed that he kind of held a lot of this together. It looks like a mess in Houston right now. And Westbrook is just the big name that wants out because he's a former MVP. He lost Kevin Durant. They traded away Harden. Ibaka left, pretty much leaving him on an island on his own in OKC. And all he did for 3 straight years was average a triple-double. I mean, that's all 2 years in a row, I believe. It was 2 years in a row, he averaged back-to-back triple-doubles. Or is it 3 of them? 3 triple-doubles, 3 triple-double seasons. And the only other time it's been done was by one person, which was the big old Oscar Robertson. So Russ has kind of been on an island most of his career. When he was at UCLA, I remember living out here when he was at UCLA, there were people on that team that people thought that were better than Russ Westbrook. It was really a surprise that towards the end of that run, his sophomore year, when they made it to the Final Four, people started to go, whoa, hold on, Russ Westbrook might be, they love his size, his aggressiveness, his leaping ability, his athleticism. But it seems like D'Antoni held a lot of this together. PJ Tucker's now unhappy. House is now coming out. Austin Rivers is talking about being blamed for a missed free throw because he was standing in the peripheral way or something on the sideline, standing up, and James Harden blaming it. It would be some weak ass shit for a Duke player to say, right? My teammates mad at me because he yelled at me because I was in his peripheral vision on a free throw. Wham, wham, wham. That sounds like some Duke shit. You would never hear a Carolina player say anything like that. Not even close. That sounds like some weak Duke shit. But now, like they say, winning cures all. No, not in this situation, because they didn't win anything. The Houston Rockets won absolutely nothing. So for anybody to try to say, well, they got eliminated by the Lakers in 5 and all this comes up. No, I'm thinking that maybe the flip side to look at this is D'Antoni held a lot of this together and kept the trash can lid on it. D'Antoni leaves. He's now an assistant with Steve Nash with the Brooklyn Nets. And now, all of a sudden, they bring in a young coach. There's rumblings that Harden and Westbrook weren't consulted. Whatever. I'm not a big fan of every franchise needs to make sure they talk to their star player. I think that's what increases ego. I think it's bad for sports. I really do. I think it's bad for sports. I know a lot of people don't like it, but there is something in this world and in this country we live in called order, and it's not always going to work out for your benefit. The employee just always doesn't have a say. Do you have a say at T-Mobile when the sale can start and end? No. Do you have a say at the local grocery store if you work there when the sale on the almond milk, the vanilla almond milk by Simple Truth that I love so much? Do you have any say when that's over, when the sale starts or begins? No. Starts or ends? Do you have any say at the income tax company you work at? A final thing, do you have any say when you work at Foot Locker? Do you have any say when you work for a construction company? The pro sports is the one area where they go, well, it's got to consult with the players. Actually, I kind of don't. Real ballers pretty much go with the flow. They play with who you put on the floor with them. Sorry, I lost y'all there on IG for a minute. Phone fell. I don't know how to pronounce that. Gino Mundal. Is that how you pronounce that? Good morning. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Appreciate y'all being in VJs on Sports Like Conduct. We're talking Russ Westbrook right now. But a lot of times in sports, you don't have, in life, you don't have a say-so. Sports is this one area where, did he consult with the star player? No, you're supposed to be the star player. You're supposed to be one of the best at what you do. You should be able to play with most players we're going to put around you. Now, that doesn't mean owners just go get garbage and owners just go get trash and bring them into the fold of the team. No, you try to get the best players that you can that you think gives you an opportunity to win for the money that you have to spend and the cap room that you have. So there's rumblings that Westbrook and Harden didn't like that. But I think we need to spin this a little bit and actually give a thumbs up and pat D'Antoni on the back. Because if D'Antoni's such a bad coach as people say, listen, I understand he has a system that people say it'll never win a championship. Okay, yes, that's very fair because it hasn't won a championship. And maybe he just hasn't had the right guys yet with it. I guarantee you, if he ever coached Kobe or coached LeBron or coached Durant or coached Steph, he don't want a champion. Could you imagine him running the Warriors? Like, seriously, could you imagine running the Warriors? But then people go, well, the Warriors are already shooting threes. That's not D'Antoni. D'Antoni's just kind of got this name already that I just don't think he can get rid of. But let's turn this back into Westbrook, because that's what this opening rant is all about. Because I'm about to defend Westbrook. Westbrook gets a real bad rap from a lot of middle America, middle-aged white guy media simply because he is unapologetically himself. He is unapologetically himself. He is not going to change for you. He's going to dress mad weird. He's got his own little new clothing line. But if you ask anyone, I'm in L.A. He's from L.A. Great husband, great father, great family man, great friend. It's all the great stuff you guys say about LeBron. He's a great father. He's a great husband. How could you not like him? He's a great player. How could you not like Russ? What has Russ ever done? Has Russ ever been arrested? No, LeBron's never been arrested. He's never had a woman come out of it. Neither has Russ Westbrook. Why don't you give him the same love? That's what I don't like about sports talk from fans and overpaid, blowhard talking heads on radio and TV who talk that type of shit. Give the same love to Russ. We don't got no stories about Russ. We don't got no pullovers. We don't have no guns found in the car. We don't got no weed found on him. He dresses mad weird for today's society and what we look at as fashion. And he's super aggressive and he's highly passionate on the court, which we say we want, but we only like it when it's kind of fake. When Steph does it, it's, oh man, look at Steph, look at that. When Durant does it, it's like, oh God, it's this eye roll. When LeBron does it, it's, God, look at that pad, look at the screaming, look at the flexing, look at the, come on. And y'all can say what y'all want to say. LeBron hated about that. That shit don't bother me. I just had a discussion with Raynell about this the other day. If you guys think that bothers me, you're sadly mistaking yourself. If you think that bothers me, you're sadly mistaking yourself. It doesn't. And I know there's people that hear me talk bad or negative or not pump LeBron up. They'll turn from my show. Bye. That's fine. There's enough people that listen. I'm fine. But I'm trying to figure out, where's this hate from Russ coming from? I'm trying to figure out what he's done. All he did was stick around in OKC. When Durant left, yeah, he felt guilty. Yeah, he felt pissed off. But when they played each other, he tried to go shake his hand and still do the old handshake that they did together, like you see certain guys do. But then subliminally and passive-aggressively talk shit about him through the media. But when you see him, it's the same old handshake that you guys did when you played together. Come on, man. He's not fake. And sports media, almost like sports fans that have come over from the reality millennial world, they like fake. Look at the most popular female bodies on IG. Most of it's fake. Most of the brothers that are flossing and throwing a lot of money and showing these rented cars and these leased homes and these leased cars and this jewelry and stuff, a lot of that's fake. Just so you guys know, poor people try to be flashy. Just so people understand that and know. Rich people are on their way to being poor. Only the wealth understand kind of how it's done. But Russell Westbrook does none of that. He does nothing that you would look at and go, he is who he is. He is honest. He is unapologetic. And middle America sports fans and middle America middle-aged white guy media doesn't like that. They want you to fall in line. They want you to toe the line. They want you to look a certain way and be presentable a certain way. Look what they did to AI. Look how the league treated AI. Even though you look up in a crowd, how many white kids at them Sixers games got cornrows and wearing the headband and got the finger band on and the wristband, just the Iverson jersey. They want to be Iverson. They want to look like Iverson. A lot of people won't tell you this, and a lot of show guys and sports talk guys won't tell you this. Being black is cool. I know a lot of people think that's gone away. No, it hasn't. Look at a commercial. Watch some of these videos on IG and YouTube. Watch the mannerisms, the way people talk, the way people present themselves, fashion. Who's mostly at a lot of these concerts for entertainers, and you'd be surprised. But he's unapologetically black. He's unapologetically who he is. And a lot of talking heads in middle America, middle-aged white sports guy doesn't like that. But I'm just trying to figure out where the hate is coming from and where the discourse of Russell Westbrook. I heard Colin yesterday, no star wants to play with him, and he's the bad this and the bad. I mean, he's been banging on Russ, but he does that to the guys that are kind of unapologetic, and they're not going to toe your line. But some numbers that I found rival what most of you are saying. It makes no sense. Russell Westbrook, in his 12-year career, has played 80 games or more 7 times. So he's durable. You ask any teammate, any GM, any head coach, any scout, any assistant, any GM, any VP of operations, or any owner, what's the best ability? They will tell you availability. Availability is the best ability in any sport. Are you available to play? We're paying you a lot of money. It's a lot of fans coming to see you. A lot of sponsorship money from the TV networks. A lot of sponsorship money from McDonald's, Nike, Coca-Cola, Walmart, Target, Ford, Mercedes, Lexus, Porsche. Coffee companies, clothing companies. Like, there's a lot of money being spent. Can you play? You're a superstar. Can you play? The best ability is availability. So he's reliable. 35 minutes a game over 11 years is what he's averaging right now. So he's going to play a lot. He wants to be out there. Just like a lot of superstars do. Once again, just give him the same credit. And really what I'm doing, guys, is I'm talking to my number junkies out there that have totally ruined sports talk radio for the most part and sports talk TV for the most part, because you want to lean on numbers. You don't really want to look at the game because the numbers can always lie. People always say women and men lie, numbers never do. Yeah, but numbers don't always tell the truth. That's almost the same thing. It's a synonym of saying women and men lie. Women and men don't always lie. Sometimes they tell the truth. Sometimes numbers tell the truth. Sometimes they don't tell the whole truth. Sometimes men and women and children don't tell the whole truth either. It's actually a really stupid saying because it really makes no sense. There's no validity to it. There's no validity behind it. So you can say all day long, well, women and men lie, numbers don't. Yes, they do. But I'm just throwing the numbers at you since we're going to go to numbers all the time. Another thing I hear, Russ can't shoot. Russ can't shoot. Career 44% from the field as a point guard. So he takes further shots away that are lower percentage shots. He takes further shots away because he's a point. But you've never seen a better penetrator to the basket at the point guard position other than Allen Iverson in the entire history of the game in the NBA. That's over Magic. That's over Penny. That's over Stockton. That's over my man Zeke. The two best point guards of putting the ball on the floor, putting their shoulder down, or shaking and crossing you up and attacking the basket, the two best to ever do it is Russ and the answer. And I'll give you Uncle Drew as like a honorable mention third. So he's not the great shooter. He's not the great. He shoots 30% from 3. You know who else shot 30% from 3? The answer. You know who else shot 30% from 3? Actually, 29% right on the button. Isaiah Thomas. My 1B favorite basketball player of all time. You see who 1A is, Lord rest his soul. He was 1B, but being that the Lord called him home like that, I had to elevate him to 1A, and then Zeke is like 1AB. He's not a 1B, he's like 1AB, or like 1A. You know what I'm saying? Like an A and then an A right behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like an A minus. Kobe's my 1A plus, Zeke's my 1A minus. And then there's 2, 3, 4, 5, my favorite players of all time. He shot 29% from the three-point line. You know who else shot 30% career from the three-point line? Magic Irving Johnson, who some called the greatest point guard of all time. And I know he averaged 11, 12 assists. Russ is right up there with 7, I believe, and we'll get into that also, too, with the numbers. You number junkies out there that always want to go to the numbers. I give you another one here. Career, he's 23, 8, and 7. He has 7 assists. He's 23, 8, and 7 in his career. In comparison to the 3 men that we would call the GOAT. And no, I'm not calling Russ Westbrook the GOAT. I'm just giving you the numbers because the numbers are what a lot of you want to go by. I'm just giving you the numbers, right? We're just doing numbers here. Russ is 23, 8, and 7. LeBron is 27, 7, and 7. So basically, he averages the same amount of assists as Russ. And people say he's so great at getting everybody involved. He's the best facilitator. Same amount of assists as Russ. He averages one more rebound than LeBron. And LeBron is 6'9". 255, 260, freight train. Could put his shoulder down and get... And LeBron's gotten those rebound numbers up really high the last few years because he's just parking himself down on the block to play defense. He's not playing out on the perimeter for even half of a game anymore. Yeah, he'll do it like a quarter when he's front running and it's going to look good and it's already either a tight game or a 2 or 3 point lead. He'll jump out on the star wing player because people will say, oh, look, he shut him down the last play. Who said he don't play defense? I still say he don't play no damn defense. That's not playing defense. That's just knowing when to play it, make it look good so your fans and the media can say, oh my God, in year 17, look at, come on, man. Stop it. So he averages the same amount of assists, one more rebound, and 2 less baskets. 27, 25. Last time I checked, a basket's worth 2 points. That's a 4-point difference. That's 2 buckets. 2 baskets more. But LeBron's the GOAT, right? Okay? MJ, 36 and 5. Russ averages more assists, more rebounds, and 3 to 4 buckets less a game than Michael Jordan, who some people call the greatest scorer of all time. And all he averages, Russ, who's supposed to be this horrible player who nobody wants to play with, who can't shoot, who can't do this, who can't do that, who can't, but then people back it up. Listen, let me just say, I love Russ. Anytime I hear that shit, I know some negative shit's coming behind it. I learned in psychology that when you have to set a variable for what you're about to say doesn't even matter. If you say, I'm not trying to be mean, but it means you're about to say some mean shit. If you say, I'm not trying to embarrass you, but you're about to say some embarrassing shit. I'm not trying to be this, but whatever you're not trying to be, you about to say, your ass is about to be. Let's stop it. So he averaged more boards and more assists than the great Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan is still GOAT 1B, GOAT 1A. Most people, you have LeBron or you got Kobe or you got, if you're an old head, you're OG, Kareem. There's other guys you go. To me, there's no such thing really as the GOAT in basketball. You can have the GOAT in different eras because rules were different. There were different players. Football is the game where because it's so physical, you can really transcend and really judge, especially running backs, receivers, linebackers, DBs, O-linemen, D-linemen, quarterback. I don't know if it transcends all the way through from beginning to end. I do think a Johnny Unitas could play today. I do think a Bart Starr could play today. You put a good line in front of them. They had the fundamentals of the drop step. They can throw the ball well. You can't. You don't throw the ball any different in the 60s than you do in the 2020. You throw the ball the same. Now, is the receiver fast? Or is the DB faster? Is all that stuff different? Yeah. But you throw the ball the same, and you can adjust how you throw the ball. It's like great pitchers, right? Satchel Paige in the Negro Leagues could have pitched in the majors. And if he was allowed to play in the majors from the minute he started playing baseball, he'd be a Hall of Famer, and he'd be one of the best pitchers of all time. They raised the mound, they lowered the mound, they had the juice ball, they had the juice bats. There's been different eras in baseball. I don't think there's a GOAT in baseball. I can just tell you the best 5'2" player I ever laid my eyes on was Ken Griffey Jr. And then you have Barry. You have some guys that you could go to, but the GOAT, nah. If a Yankee fan tell you Jeter's the GOAT, okay. But he doesn't lead anything or is not top near anything in any major hitting numbers. And baseball is a real number sport. Mariano Rivera is considered the greatest closer of all time, but he also played with some of the greatest lineups of all time that could always give him leads for him to come in. Imagine if he played, with the Cubs. I would imagine if he played with the Royals when the Royals only been good 2 years out of the last 30. So what if he played with the Royals for 12 years? Would he have that many saves? Would he have that many save opportunities? Right? But I think you could go era to era when you talk about GOAT. So these other names that I'm putting up with Russ are guys that are considered a GOAT. And you numbers guys, there we go. I'm doing the numbers thing for you. You numbers guys want to always use the numbers to state your case. And one last one, my guy, the Mamba, 25, 5, and 5. So Russ averaged more assists and more rebounds than Kobe, Kobe only averaged one more bucket. I'm just going off the numbers. For everybody that says he can't do this, he can't do that, he can't do this, I'm looking at the numbers. 80% from the free throw line. So he's ice water down the stretch. He can hit clutch free throws for you. Your GOAT LeBron can't. Kobe was at 85. Jordan was at 84. Percentage from the free throw line. One of my reasons for LeBron not being the GOAT is you can't not play defense and then still be considered the GOAT. Kobe played D till the day he walked off the court. Jordan played D till the day he walked off the court. They didn't have to save themselves. And Kobe played 20 years. Kobe did not in year 16, 17 start to have to save himself. When Kobe got eliminated in the playoffs, it was never he ran out of gas. Never. Oh, well, he didn't have to do as much. He had to stop the bullshit. Stop the fakeness. Stop the bullshit. We're not doing that over here. Take that to the networks where they love all that clickbait shit. No. He had to do a lot more than people think. Trust me. Mentally, a lot more than anybody, especially when you're playing with Shaq. Listen, the Kobe-Shaq beef, I used to tell people back in the day when I was cutting hair back in Virginia, a barbershop, just ironic this is all Kobe's fault and Orlando was all Penny's fault too. Yeah, I know. It's funny how it's everybody else's fault but his. Only till they had to sit down interview on NBA TV. He says, I might have been an asshole to this guy, man. It's funny how things work out, right? But I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm like, 3 triple-double seasons. I mean, half the time, he plays 80 games. He's reliable, 35 minutes, 44% from the field. People can't shoot 30% from the free throw line. They're Hall of Famers that people consider the greatest point guard of all time that shot 30% from the field. It's not the first time this has happened. How are they the GOAT, or how are they the best ever at their position? I don't know why my phone keeps falling here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having trouble with my damn IG phone this morning. Okay, so we're back there. But, yeah, I just... And let's talk about the trade prospects for a second. You're hearing teams like Charlotte and Orlando. Are you kidding me? Y'all going to do that to Russ? Y'all going to send Russ to Charlotte? Who couldn't even keep Kemba Walker? Who couldn't keep Alonzo Mourning? Who couldn't keep Larry Johnson? Shit, the only one that I guess wanted to stay there was Curry and Muggsy Bogues. Kendall Gill even left when he was a free agent, had the chance to get out of there. And Charlotte's a beautiful town. It's a beautiful city and a beautiful state with a bunch of beautiful black people around in Charlotte. But the franchise, come on. Like, at one point, you lost your franchise. You had to start another one called the Bobcats. I ain't never seen a Bobcat in North Carolina. My grandmama, the great Ambry Spearman, lives in Clinton, North Carolina, in a small little section called Ingo. And I ain't never seen no Bobcat. She live out in the sticks. And when I say the sticks, I'm talking so country, they call the schoolhouse. Yeah, they done went out there to the schoolhouse play ball. They over there playing basketball. Out there at the schoolhouse. Said the schoolhouse, what the fuck is that? Is that a club? Where we going? We going to the schoolhouse. Oh, the schoolhouse. I heard the DJ over there beat the ball. I heard he beat the ball. I heard he play all the Tootsie Roll, play crisscross. Oh, yeah. Arrested Development, Tennessee. Tennessee, 10. I was hyped. They took me to the school. I was like, the hell y'all said it was going to the school? Yeah, this is the schoolhouse. That's how country it is where she lived. And I ain't never seen a Bobcat there. Talking about sending him to Orlando? Why would you gonna put Russ in Orlando? Y'all gonna do that to Russ so people can talk even worse about Russ? He can't win. He's playing in Orlando. I know they got Vujovic there, but that's not enough. Tell me who Charlotte's got. Now the Pistons name has come up, and I'm a Pistons fan. I need to get rid of Blake Griffin's contract, and we need to get rid of Blake Griffin. I would love to see Russ. I'm a Russ fan. I would love to see Russ in Detroit. I don't think it's going to make us contenders. But there are some young pieces there, and they have a high draft pick this year. And you could probably make another trade and say, hey, we got Russ. I know DeMar Rosen's name is being thrown out there. I would love to see Detroit call Houston, call San Antonio. Get those two guys. Give up your first-round draft pick. Give up your first-round draft pick this year. You don't need it. Like, this draft ain't that loaded. You You ain't going to miss out on nothing this year. Yes, there's a player that comes along, and I'm not the basketball scout savant like that, but okay, I'll take Russ and DeMar, though, over whatever's in the draft, other than maybe Melo and Weissman out of Kentucky. But, if I can get Westbrook and get DeRozan now, get some excitement going in my franchise, get some ticket sales up, get on some TV games, because you got two stars. DeRozan's a star whether people want to admit it or not. Just because he got traded for Kawhi Leonard doesn't mean he's not a star. You got to give up a star to give a star sometime, or you got to give up what could possibly be a star, and that's your first-round draft pick in the NBA to get a star in a trade. You got to kind of give that up. There's been instances where not all the time, but for the most part, got to give up a star to get a star, a potential star to get a star. I would just love to see that move. The Knicks' names has come up. Now listen, I always tell people, I think basketball's better, the NBA's better when the Knicks are good. When the Knicks are good, the NBA is better. But not with Dolan right now. Don't put Russ in that situation. Don't do that to Russ. Don't. So those are some of the names that have popped up. As far as trades go, I think a deal will be made. He wants out. The Clippers' name has popped up, but I just think you would have to get a third and maybe a third and a fourth team involved. If it's the Clippers in Houston straight up, yeah, I'd give up like 3 players. You got to match the money. I believe he makes 41 coming this year. So you got to match. You got to get close to it at least. 31, 32. I heard an NBA insider, one of my sources I talked to yesterday told me about 33, 34. You got to get to that much, and then maybe they could eat $7 million of that cap money right there, just pay that outright, or however the two teams decide to work it out. You would have to do something like that. I wouldn't imagine that they would give up PG. I don't know if that's enough. I would like to see Kawhi, PG, and Russ. I'm not sure if giving up Russ or getting Russ just to give up PG would be enough, because Montrez is still a free agent. You got to worry about signing these guys that's a free agent. And I don't know. I don't love Montrezl Harrell as much as everybody else does, especially the 6 Man of the Year committee. I'm not sure what they were thinking or what they were doing or why. I don't see it. That's just me. I don't see it. It didn't show up in the playoffs, so I really don't see it. Even winning a regular season award, it's got to show up in the playoffs. Especially when you're talking 6 Man. When you're talking 6 Man, I mean your team is really dependent on you. And when you don't give them anything in the playoffs after winning 6 Man Year award, no, there's a death in his family, so I don't want to go there. I want to be a little easy there. But at the end of the day, I still need you to make plays. Period. And he just didn't. The Knicks names out there, I just think that's a bad situation. He drive ticket sales like crazy. Knicks fans are half of them I know are yes, and half of them are like, don't even bring him here. Not because they don't like him, they just know it's not enough. The Knicks don't know how to develop players. The Knicks don't know how to draft players. Everybody tries to talk about Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson did them such a favor. He cleared so much cap room and he drafted Porzingis, and then the Knicks traded him. They traded him to Dallas. Dallas has made it known that they're on the table right now to make a significant trade to push for a championship now. The only person you can't have is Luka. Let's talk. You can't have Luka. You can't have Porzingis. Can't have Kristoff. You don't have anything else. Cubans put it out there. When our first round draft pick, fine, here you go. What you got? We're trying to push. We want to win right now. And I like that. I like when pro teams push all their chips. If you feel like you can go now, go now. Do not wait. Because there's no telling. You're only a severe high ankle sprain or an ACL or an Achilles away in the NBA from being a second seed to fighting for the 8th seed in the playoffs. Ask the Portland Trailblazers. The Portland Trailblazers were the 3rd seed in the playoffs in the Western Conference last year. This year, they had to fight in the bubble to make the 8th. Why? One of their star players was hurt. Only takes one. If you feel like you could go right now, go right now. And that's what Dallas is doing. But they're doing it with Porzingis. The Knicks had Porzingis. Phil Jackson drafted Porzingis and then cleared out all your bad contracts. They can't develop guys. They can't. It would be an exciting thing to have them there. I think it would bring an excitement like when Melo went back and the year they won 56 games with Melo. and got to the playoffs, I think Russ will do that. You bring Russ in, Russ will get you 49 wins. Russ by himself could get you 47 to 49 wins in the Eastern Conference. That should be good enough for like the 5th or 6th seed. Eastern Conference always has a team that's right at 500 or under 500 at the 8th. I don't know why that is. It's like the NFC least in football. But the only thing that would do would just be really exciting. I think they get to the playoffs. There's going to be no fans, so I'm not sure if this is the year you want to bring in a Russ, if you want to make that trade with no fans, because you can't sell any tickets this year anyway. So there's not that excitement this year, so I'm not sure if that's a great fit. And I'm not sure what's a great fit. I want to hear some more things. I just wanted to talk about Russ in my opening rant because I'm sick and tired of people trying to play Russ the way people try to play Russ. Russ Westbrook is one of the best point guards of all time. You might could call him a top 10 point guard. Real quick, before I move on, fine, let's do it right now. We do improv. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm an actor. I do theater. You guys know I can improv. Top 10 point guards. Not in any order. Let's just name 10. You got Zeke. You got Magic. You got Stockton. You got Steph. That's 4 right there. Let's go Russ. Big O. 6 point guards right there. Oh, AI. Zeke. That's 8 right there. You telling me Russ isn't in that crowd? Here, let's go Pistol. Let's get some old school love in here. Let's go Pistol. So we got Zeke, Magic, Stockton, Steph. I already got Zeke twice. Sorry, I got to mark that off. My bad. So we got Zeke. We got AI. We got Magic. Got Steph. Got Stockton. Got Big O. Got Pistol. So that's 7 right there. Any other great point guards anybody can think of all time great point guards? I mean, he's the top 10 point guard of all time. That was easy. We did that in 12 seconds. That's not even hard to think about. You can put Nash in there. Let's go Nash. Kid. Right? I like that right there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you can change that, from pick to pick or guy to guy if you want. But that's pretty solid right there. And by his numbers, he fits all those guys. His success, he won an MVP. How many of these guys have an MVP? How many have an MVP? Does Pistol have an MVP? Magic's got a couple. Zeke don't have one. Nash stole 2. Stockton doesn't have one. Steph's got 2. Kid doesn't have one. I don't think the Big O has one. I can look it up. He might have won one, but he was also playing with Kareem. I couldn't imagine him getting an MVP over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'll look it up while I sit here and ramble for a quick second. But the history of NBA MVPs, let's see if the Big O has one. As a matter of fact, I already got Basketball Reference up right now, and all I got to do is put in Oscar, and it'll tell me whether he won an MVP right here. No. Hall of Famer, he's a 12-time All-Star, averaged 26, 7, and 10. Damn. Well, 9.5. I round that up. I round up. Talk about those career numbers. 6'5", 205. They used to call him Mr. Triple-Double. Call him Ozzy. That's how great he was. 14 total years in the NBA. Not a bad career. That's an all-time great right there, right? You guys would agree with that. So Russ Westbrook is a top 10 or at least a top 12 point guard of all time. And the slander will not be tolerated no more on VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct. All right, moving on to NFL. Great game last night. Number 1 defense of the Indianapolis Colts showed their natural ass. I had the Colts. You guys can go check my IG. I had the Colts winning that game last night. Somebody hit me up and asked, hey, who you think's got that? I got the Titans, and I'm like, nah. I've been telling people for a few weeks that the Titans are fool's gold, and it showed last night. I like Tannehill. I liked them in Miami. I just thought Miami never had the line. I always defended them. When everybody was ripping Tannehill in Miami, I was the guy that was always defending Tannehill in Miami. Because I always said, if the line is bad, you can't blame the quarterback. That's always been my thing. If the line is bad, you can't blame the quarterback. And I thought that he got blamed a lot for a lot of losses when the back of his jersey, the green grass, was blending in with the aqua on his jersey, which means he was on his ass and on his back. The line wasn't very good in Miami. Everybody knows that. But I also don't think that Ryan Tannehill is super great neither. And it's starting to show. They're loading up the box on Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had a few big runs last night. He didn't have just that steady pounding game. There were a handful of times that they were shooting the gap on him, and there was nothing he can do about it. They were shooting the gap and getting him and pulling him down in the backfield. Trying to pull up the stats from his rushing stats last night from last night's game. Yeah, 19 for 203, but he had like a 27, a 25, and I think like a 19-yard run. So, I mean, in actuality, that's almost 60 yards on 3 carries. So that means the other 16 carries, he only had like 40-something yards. And he had some 2- and 3-yard losses. He had a 4-yard loss with defensive back, the rookie Hooker, blasted through the left side of the offensive line coming from the right side of defense and hit him low, got him in the backfield for like a 5-yard loss on a quick pitch play. They couldn't really run the ball consistently hardcore last night. Last night, Ryan Tannehill, 15 for 27 for 147, and the Colts have the number 1 ranked defense in the league. I told people last week the Titans are fool's gold. That defense isn't what it was last year. It's showing. That's the 25th ranked defense in the league. They're 17th against the run, but they're 26th against the pass. They can't stop people from passing. And Phillip Rivers threw all he wanted on them last night. Phillip went 29 to 39, no interceptions, 1 touchdown for 308. And they ran the ball. Himes had 12 for 70. So that's 5.8 to carry, and he was really wearing them out. I am really trying to figure out what's going on with Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to cut him from my fantasy league. Jonathan Taylor is killing me. He is killing me, man. And Wisconsin running backs do have a tendency to not live up to the expectations. That's not to say they've been good. Like Melvin Gordon's good, but he can't stay healthy. Once again, best ability is availability. Melvin Gordon can't stay healthy. Ron Dane, had a cup of coffee with the Giants. Michael Bennett, if you remember Michael Bennett from the Minnesota Vikings that came out of there, he had 1 or 2 good seasons in Minnesota, and then was kind of regulated to just being a speed back. And there's another Wisconsin running back that's in the league right now. I got to think about it, but he's not doing what a lot of people thought that he was going to do. It's not Jonathan Taylor. Who was before Jonathan Taylor? Was it Melvin Gordon? Was Melvin Gordon the running back before Jonathan Taylor? I'll look that up. But I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Jonathan Taylor last night. 1.7 yards a carry. I got to take him off my fantasy team. He is hurting me. But 34-17, Colts go on the road, take over first place, and the Titans have more problems that people want to admit. They don't run the ball like that super consistently well like they did last year. I understand Derrick Henry is second in yards. I understand Derrick Henry is a beast. But he's had a few stretches in games where he hasn't had those super breakaway runs or just that pounding. Teams have done their homework. The one thing in the NFL that you know is going to happen, teams, once they get tape on you, once they get film on you, you better be able to do something different, or you better be able to add something to your game, or you're just going to, you'll get pop runs, but it just won't be like it was. Especially after he gets his money. Zeke Elliott said the same thing about Zeke Elliott and the Cowboys. When he was in Cowboys, I said, trade him. Do not pay him. He already is a bad decision maker. He has very, very low self-awareness. He's very unaware of what he's doing. And a lot of shit he does, he thinks, okay, you're going to give that guy that much money, and he won't run as hard when he get paid. You could just see it. There's certain guys you could just see it. If you watch I Am Athlete, which is actually the best show on YouTube, in my opinion, other than VJ's on Sportsmanlike Conduct with Vested Sports Network. Live on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio. Also on IG Live. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I Am Athlete is outstanding. Brandon Marshall, Ocho Cinco, Fred Taylor, and Channing Crowder, outstanding. They had an episode talking about that. Talking about playing for the money or thinking about their next contract or not getting hurt. And Fred Taylor says, I never thought about the contract or the money. I just wanted to play. And some of them really didn't believe him. They were like, come on, man, you never... Ocho was like, no, I held out, so I know I thought about the money. Brandon Marshall, everybody remembers Brandon Marshall in the contract dispute with the Broncos and how that all shaped out and how that went. Everybody remembers that. Him punting the ball in practice when he was in the receiver line, like... Channing Crowder said he had to play out his whole first 4-year contract before he could go to the franchise and say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is the numbers I'm putting up. This is what I want. This is what I want to make. This is the contract that I want. Some guys just play for the money. They don't think about that. Some guys think about the contract, and when they get it, then they'll go back to playing. But until you give it to them, they're going to hold out. They're going to do that. You got to watch guys like that. And I know a lot of guys do hold out. A lot of guys deserve to hold out. When Emmitt Smith held out and the Dallas started 0-2, Jerry got on the phone and said, okay, here, what do you want? Here's your money. And then they went on to win the Super Bowl. You get guys hold out, they come back, they perform. You get a guy like Zeke holds out, he's not the same guy. I don't care about his yards. I don't care about the per yard. I don't care. Hey, 4.3 yards his second year. When he wanted the contract, when he was going to get the contract, I think got the contract. Yeah, but it wasn't the same 4.3 as the 4.2 he averaged the previous 2 years, including his rookie year. It wasn't the same. Don't fail the eye test. But Jonathan Taylor, I got to do something with him. The game also last night, too, showed the Colts defense. That defense is so good. Man, that defense is good. Number 1 in the league. Third against the rush. Third against the pass, what makes them number 1. And they flexed their muscle last night. First drive, Tennessee moves, rolls right downfield. A lot of play action, a lot of bootleg action, a lot of getting to the fullbacks in the flats. Boom, scores a touchdown. The Colts get the ball, drive right downfield, convert a fourth down, try to convert a second one, don't get it. Not a problem. I like the gutsy calling of Frank Wright, the head coach, and the play caller for them last night because they went for the gusto. Defense is going to normally show up eventually. Good defenses, they show up every week. When you're third in the league after week 9, you're third in the league. There's no mistakes. There's no trippiness. And last week, their defense was really holding Lamar Jackson down. They were really holding the Ravens offense down. And then the Ravens defense kicked in the second half, where the Colts had, I think, 1 total yard in the entire third quarter, and they lost 20-10. That was pretty much the game. When they was holding them down like that, that was pretty much it. After the third quarter, they weren't going to be able to come back and do anything with that lead or with that deficit and do anything against that defense. But they bounced back last night. The Tennessee defense is not the same defense that it was last year. I'm not sure what's going on, and I don't know why, to be honest with you. I don't have an answer. I know they're 25th ranked in the league right now. And last year, that was a top 10 defense. The Titans are fool's gold. Do not believe in the Titans. All right, so we'll go to my picks real quick, man. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to stay on long today. We're almost coming up on an hour. I do want to talk a little college football. I just want to get my picks out there. If I find something really, really overly interesting happening in sports, I'll jump back on tonight and do another show, or I'll pop on early in the morning before I start college football and do another show. I'm going to look up some college football games too here, tell you guys which ones to look out for. So my top 5 and my power 5 this week didn't change. I had the Chiefs, Packers, Steelers, Saints, and Bucks in that order. Chiefs because they still have the MVP, and I think they have the best weapons, the most weapons. I still think they're the best team in football. Packers are number 2 because they got discount double check. Aaron Rodgers, and they're getting guys back. When they get guys back, we're going to see how good this team is. This is the team that went to the NFC Championship game last year, banged up as they always do. Aaron Rodgers having to make, sugar out of shit because his front office really won't bring him the talent that he really needs to excel. And the running back is back now. Jones is back. Devontae Adams is back. I mean, it's just their team right now is starting to form, and they're starting to get weapons back, and they're starting to discover some of these young tight ends that he's throwing to also too. Just watch the Packers, man. I know people don't like me having them above the Steelers, but once again, the Steelers are beating the Giants, the Broncos, the Texans, the Eagles, the Browns, the Titans, the Ravens, and the Cowboys, and they have squeaked by all those wins. The scores in those games are 26-16, 26-21, 28-21. 38-29 is the Eagles score, but that game was 39-30. Oh, excuse me, it was 31-29 late in that game, and then they got a receiver that broke a tackle, and the safety slipped and ran for like a 75-yard touchdown. When the Steelers are really just trying to run out the clock and not have to give the ball back, scored that late touchdown. Philly couldn't score. Did they throw an interception, and then that was game. The Browns, they beat 28-7, but they're the Browns. They own the Browns. Titans 27-24. I still think Titans are fool's gold, but the Titans had the Steelers beat. The Titans gave that game away. The Ravens had them beat also too, 28-24. And then the Cowboys had them beat. They're getting moved up and down the field by the hapless Cowboys, who might be the worst team in football other than the bum-ass Jets. And they pulled out with now 24-19. They're not blowing teams out. We've seen undefeated teams before. We've seen 8-0 Rams. We've seen, 8-0 Patriots just waxing teams. We've seen 8-0 Niners waxing teams. We've seen 8-0 Rams, the funnest show, the greatest show on turf, just lambasting, just scraping teams up and down the field. The Steelers are 8-0, yeah, but they're kind of just skating by a lot of these opponents. I don't think Big Ben's body's going to hold up. You're not healthy if you have to start the season with some makeshift sleeve to keep it warm it's not healthy. You're just trying to MacGyver it. This could be his last year, and I agree. I think his teammates are playing hard for him, which is dope. I got no beef with that. Let's go win one for Ben. Let's go win one with that whole, let's go win one for the Gipper. Let's go win one for the Skipper type mentality this year, and I mess with that. I'm not mad at that at all. So if that's the case, all right, cool. I got no beef with it. But I still do not think that is a championship team, and that they'll win a Super Bowl. So games this week though, and I got my picks. You guys know, take my picks very, very seriously here. We are trying to get to 85%. I gotta go on a run. It's week 10. I gotta go on a serious run right now in order to catch what I need to catch. I am at, hold on, where's my number? I apologize. Please forgive me, guys. I'm at 46, 26, and 1. So I'm double my wins. I have the one tie between the Eagles and the Bengals, I believe it was. So, but I feel good about this weekend because I've already started off with the Colts winning last night. So I already got, 41, 26, and 1. So I'll take that. I really wish I was about another 5 or 6 games under on my loss record because there's some teams that just did not show up for me, man. And I hate that. I should really be like 52, let me see. I should be like 52, 20, and 1. I should. No, 52, 18, and 1. Excuse me, 18, yeah. 52, 18, and 1 is where I really should be. But, excuse me, I can't get out on the field and play for them. And sometimes the teams, they just don't show up for the big vanilla funny, the big vanilla matter. All right, so here we go. Got the Colts win already. Let's start with the LA teams. You got the Rams and the Seahawks. I think that'll be a great game this weekend. I think the Rams will look differently offensively as they did 2 weeks against the Dolphins. They're coming off of a bye week, and I think they heard too much about the offense and what it looked like against Brian Flores' defense, stunning defense, top 5 defense in the NFL now for my beloved. Y'all see the Dolphin gear, got the new logo, and then got the old school shit right there. There you go. I said, look how old this joint is. That's an old hat. I've had that hat for a long time. That hat been through a lot. And I still put it on. It don't fit all the way. Don't clown me. Don't laugh. But the Rams are coming off of a bye. And I think they heard a whole bunch about how bad Goff looked and how bad the offense looked. They couldn't run the ball. 4 turnovers against the Dolphins. And then the special teams was bad too. Jakeem Grant takes back an 82-yard punt return. He has some really good kick return yards that game. And they had a lot they probably had to work on to get focused during the bye week. I think they show up. And it's a really good game between the Seahawks and the Rams. That game is here in LA. The reason why I like this to be a really good and a really close game is because the Seahawks can't play defense. The Seahawks have no defense. And this is a 5-2, 6-2, and a 5-3 team going at it. So rights for division lead are up. And there's another game in that division that's really big too. The Bills go into Arizona. And you know Arizona's going to want to kind of get back. It felt like they gave the Dolphin game away by not going for it on 4th down. But I will tell people, on 3rd down, with the rollout pass, and I love Kyler Murray, but he threw the ball right into the ground at the receiver's feet. That pass right there, I said game over. I knew it, game over. I was texting Aisha Cheney, who works for NFL Network, and I told her the Dolphins just need a stop, and they'll win the game. They just need one stop, and at this point, I think this is when it's 31-31. I said they just need one stop. They'll win this game. They're going to go back and score. 2 in a row. The offense is feeling and clicking right now. And we have a bomb kicker. So it could be a field goal. I said, but they just need one stop, and they got the stop. He chose not to go for it. And then they missed the field goal. The field goal comes short. Kicker gets a lot of turf underneath it. So that's another big game that's going to matter in that division the NFC West out here in California is that the Bills are going to Arizona. Seahawks have the worst scoring defense in the league right now. They have the next to worst ranked defense in the league right now. They're on pace to give up the most yards in NFL history as a defense. So I do think that the Rams could score some points, and I think that the offense having a bye week and hearing all the noise from the Miami game will play well. And I'm going to give this win to the Rams to tighten up that division. I'll pick the Rams. Russ is coming off of I don't know if it was a bad game, but he had 2 picks and 2 fumbles against the Bills on the road. Was it the Bills? Yes, the Bills on the road that he had some people say he had a bad game. I mean, it's Russ. He's still threw for almost 400 yards. I mean, they throw a lot. They can't run the football. Seattle can't run the football, and they can't stop anybody. It's not a Super Bowl team, guys. And I don't give a damn what y'all say. You can't give MVP to that quarterback. You ain't been doing it for the other quarterbacks that's been doing all the heavy lifting. Normally the MVP goes to a quarterback that's won it, whose team is really good. A team's not good. Their record may not be. They could be looking at 6-3 after this weekend, and then the entire NFC tightens up. The Rams win, go to 6-3. Bucks are 6-3. Packers are 6-2. You start to tighten this thing up. You start to tighten this race up. The Cardinals win this weekend. They're 6-3. The NFC starts to get really, really tight. And we're winding down time on the IG here. When IG stops, I'll load it back up live. You guys can come right back in. I'll continue live on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio and on my YouTube channel. So that's a huge game this weekend, and my eyes will definitely be on it. I'll take the Rams. We'll save the other LA team because they're playing my squad, and I'll talk about my squad last. Packers and the Jags. This is a chance for the Packers to get back from a bye week. They're on a bye. Now the Packers can come back. They get the Jags. I think it's an easy win, so I definitely will take the Packers on this one. I will definitely take the Packers with this game. And now, like I said, Packers are starting to get healthy. Packers are starting to get their players back. They're starting to get guys back. Discount double check. The Jags are playing a rookie who grew up loving Aaron Rodgers, and he never thought, they've already asked him, did you ever think that you would be playing against Aaron Rodgers? Like, oh my God, this is like the greatest thing ever in life. And I think when you have that type of dynamic, you leave yourself open, honestly, to getting your ass whooped this weekend. If you're worried about your idol you playing against, you better be worried about that really good defense that they have that can put pressure on the quarterback. And, the defensive coordinator there is going to try to cook up some things. So I'll take the Packers over the Jazz. And I like the points in that game, too. Tampa Bay needs to bounce back. A division game, at the Panthers, 6-3 versus 3-6. I'm not sure what's up with McCaffrey. I'll check on that, but I'm going to still take Tampa in this game anyway. But I'll tell you 2 teams that have really impressed me this year because they play hard. They got injuries. They don't have all the Jimmys and Joes that everybody else has. They got a really good quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, even though I'm not totally sold on Teddy being back. Teddy's having great moments. He's had great moments this year. I know he's missing McCaffrey, who some people arguably would say is the best back in football. I think it's Dalvin Cook, and I think he's 1B. I think they're both super, super good. The receivers, more. The defense is playing well. New coach, got Ron Rivera out of there, got rid of Cam, got rid of some other guys. They've become a really good football. They play hard. Them and the Giants. Those are the 2 teams that are very much impressed me with under 500 records because they play hard. The future's bright. If you fans just hold on, every team can't be good every year, guys. I mean, it is what it is. But you get the right coach in there, you get the right coach, you get the right things happening. Your franchise can't turn around. Got to have a coach, got to have a quarterback. Just bottom line. Got to have a good coach, got to have a good quarterback. And then you could definitely get back in. What's up to my man Sage? Sage, if you're not doing something, jump in, man, on this football talk. Homie, let me know. Come on IG. Don't call in if you want to. I want to see your face, man. I want the fans and my people to see a future Vesson employee that might be with Vesson Network one day. So Tampa's got to bounce back because last week, before you blinked, it was 28-0, and that game was over. The embarrassment, the Tom Brady stuff, Bruce Arians, who the hell does he think he is? That still bothered me, the way he's criticizing Tom Brady. I just think at some point your coach and your quarterback have to pretty much just be joined at the hip. And you could chastise him in front of the team and chastise him one-on-one or in the film study, but don't do it during the press. Don't do it through the press. I don't like that. I've never liked that. I think it ruins relationships in sports, and I don't think it helps. And you're Bruce Arians. Like, you should be thanking your lucky ass star. You should be thanking Jesus. You should be thanking Buddha, Allah, the ice cream truck man, Kobe Bryant's, the memory of Kobe, the spirit of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. You should be thanking so many people that Tom Brady fell out of the sky into your damn lap this year. Who is going to be your quarterback? It brings you Antonio Brown. It brought you Gronk. It brought you Leonard Fournette. Like, it got you these guys. Just him coming there got you these guys. And, sit in the press and talk shit and criticize some of the... No. Take responsibility for your team not being prepared, because the Saints just looked like they were more prepared. I still don't think the Saints are the better team. They were better prepared that night. And that's what's good about football. That's what I love about football. Sometimes you think you could just show up with the emblem on the side of the helmet. I would say the name across the jersey, but they don't put name across NFL jerseys. That's basketball. But on football, the emblem on the side of the helmet, sometimes you think you could just show up with the emblem. And with the names on paper, you're going to win the game. The Chiefs found that out last week. They didn't lose, but they didn't think Carolina was going to come in there. I watched the game. They played like Carolina was just going to come in here and kind of roll over, and they didn't. Carolina came in to play, and to play hard, and play hard they did. And they almost pulled that shit off. So, but I will take Tampa. This is going to be a hard-fought game because Carolina's going to play hard, and it's a division game. There's got to be an upset somewhere this weekend in these games. I'm just not sure where it is, but I'll find it for you guys in a minute. Niners at the Saints. The Niners are 5-4. For all the injuries that they have, the Saints are 6-2. Another big divisional game for the Saints, for that division, for the NFC South. Because if the Saints lose and the Buccaneers win, the Buccaneers will be in first place with the 7 wins. The Saints haven't had their bye week yet. The Bucks have. The Bucks haven't had their bye week yet. The Saints have. So then they have the head-to-head, but the Bucks need to keep winning, and so do the Saints. The Saints can't drop games like this. The Niners will play hard. I know they got blown out a week and a half ago, over a week ago, on Thursday Night Football to the Green Bay Packers, but that's Green Bay. That's discount double check. They had something to prove coming off of that bad loss to the Vikings. So they needed that win. They needed to show up and play hard, play correctly, play focused, play like the professionals they are, and go beat the team that you should beat. I don't know if that's the case this week. The Saints better be very careful. I'll take the Saints, but they better be very careful with that game. You get Michael Thomas back, and quiet as kept. I think Michael Thomas is on the trade block. They just won't say it. The hamstring and the groin or whatever was going on there. It's a guy that had 149 catches last year, broke an NFL record. But he also punched the teammate and had to be reprimanded and suspended. I think that's something that they need to take a look, or they were taking a look at. And I think they made some calls and fielded some offers. They just didn't find anything to tickle their fancy. And I bet you if they go to Drew, Drew's like, look, I need him this year. Ironically, because he's one of the black players who won't stand for the anthem. Drew. Also, just real quick, my first professional piece I ever wrote for the Medium. You can go on the Medium and check, look for Vest in Sports. I wrote an article, my first column there was about Drew Brees and his comments about the national anthem and the flag protests. Ravens and the Patriots, 2 black quarterbacks going at it. Lamar Jackson, 2 former MVPs. The current MVP, Lamar Jackson, and former 15-1 Super Bowl appearance quarterback, Cam Newton. Listen, that Jets game, I actually thought the bum-ass Jets were going to beat the Patriots last week. As I'm watching the game and I'm watching the game progress and I'm watching the game go on, I honestly thought they were going to win that football game. They outplayed them. If you really think about go back and watch that game, they outplayed the Patriots. It probably should have, but they the bum-ass Jets, so they do what the bum-ass Jets do. They lose games that they should win. But to see Cam Newton on his knee and the prayer and the kiss and the blow-up was like, it's bad in New England. And it's not bad because New England's bad. It's just bad because, like Bill Belichick said, he was very candid and honest about it, they don't have any money. They got a lot of players that left and a lot of players that stayed home. We just don't have it this year. We sold out. We won 3 Super Bowls, went to a 4th, and a conference championship game. I tell you right now, and I was saying this to Sage if he's still on watching, you call 27 or 26 other NFL franchises right now, fan bases, and you say, hey, for the next 6 years, you'll win 3 Super Bowls, you'll go to a 4th, and you'll play in a conference championship game, and After all of that's done, though, you're going to start at 2-5. But you don't know what games you're going to win. You just know you're going to win 3 Super Bowls. You don't know which ones. You would be all sold in for that ride. I would. I'd be all sold in for that ride. Because once we lose one, I know we ain't losing no more. So if we lose the first one, I'm like, all right, I know I got 3 Super Bowl wins coming. If we lose the third one, I know, all right, I know I got one more because we won 2, we lost 1, now I'm going to know. And then I know we still got another conference championship game coming that we're not going to get out of. That's fine. Your team makes it all the way to the Final Four. After winning championships, everybody would be sold in. Bill Belichick was very honest, very straightforward, and very candid about that. Like, listen, we paid Cam Newton $1 million. It's kind of what we had. Now, probably could pay Cam a little more. I'm not sure about that, but who knows? Who knows now? Who really knows nowadays? But I appreciated his candor and his openness about it. But big game for the Ravens. Ravens need this game, and I think the Patriots need it too. The Ravens need it so they can keep pace in the AFC North with the Steelers. And then here goes my man Big Sage in the building. The Ravens need this to keep pace with the Steelers. So I'll cut that short right there, and I want to bring in a young man that I met, seen on Twitter, talk sports, has his own sports talk thing going down. I'm actually scouting this guy. I'll put it out there. Everybody knows. Anybody I bring on my show, there's a method to my madness. I play chess. I don't play checkers. Checkers is for kids. Grown men play chess. Grown men and people who've been in prison play chess. Little Russian kids and kids from Europe play chess. And from Eastern Europe play chess. And chess is a thinking man's game. You got to set your pieces up. You have to know when to attack. Right now, I'm setting my pieces up for Vested Sports Network. So this young man I reached out to, I said, you know what, man, why don't you come on and do a show? Did a show. He actually reposted the show, so it picked up a new listener demographic for me. And it brought me over to a whole demographic that didn't know about me and got me new listeners in different states and cities. So I thank my man Sage for that. But from LA, diehard LA fan. He loves his Lakers. He loves his Dodgers. His Doyers. Did I say that right? Your Doyers. And he's just a really great guy. Talks really good sports, man. My man Sage Alvarez. What's up, player?
What's up, man? Good morning to you, bro. I see you working out earlier on the Michael Conner show earlier, man. It was great stuff.
Cuz, man, I listen, dog. When I tell you I'm trying to get this, man. I'm not playing around, man. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and I didn't lay down until 3 because I started the Titans game super late because I had my son. So I didn't start the Titans game till about 1:30 a.m. By that time, it's 4:30 a.m. East Coast. So the players are home asleep. They're in bed. They're not even, and I'm just starting the game. So I wanted to make sure I got through the game. Finally closed my eyes at about 3:30. Then my eyes opened up at about 5:15. Had to use the bathroom, and then I knew I had to be on Michael Collier pre-pod at 6:30 a.m. and just going from there, man. So I'm grinding. I do it so that people like you see me handling my biz and you know who you dealing with and just know Johnny come lately ass dude, man. I'm about my business. Can you hear me?
I heard you.
Oh, okay. All right, so jump in on this NFL talk, man. You've been watching. Let's backtrack. I got the Rams over the Seahawks. Seahawks have a piss poor defense. It's going to be one of the worst defenses to finish in NFL history in yards allowed. The Rams coming off a bye, also hearing all the noise that happened in Miami with the way they turned the football over and the way that the Dolphins defense really got in that ass. Brian Flores called the defensive plays for the Patriots in that Super Bowl that held that offense to 3 points that actually put up 30-plus on the Saints in the conference championship game. Employed the same thing. I think hearing all the noise, it's been very quiet out here with the Rams over the bye week, too. You haven't heard anything. I think they got focused. I think it's a high-scoring game. When you have Aaron Donald, you can kind of chase Russell Wilson's ass all day long. Seattle can't run the football. They can't stop anybody. I got the Rams. Who you got?
I got the Seahawks over the Rams.
Give me a score.
I go 30-21.
You only give 21 points to the Rams against that defense?
Yes.
Can we put a sandwich? Can we put a sandwich in the ginger ale on that?
Yeah.
Okay, a sandwich. I'm a cheap date. You see how I am? I'm a cheap date, bro. I don't need a lot, people. I tell right now, I don't need a lot. Just give me what the little I'm asking for. Sandwich and a ginger ale on that.
I got you.
All right, bet. So, but you gotta tell me why.
Russell Wilson, man. And you see the same thing happen in the Saints Tampa Bay game. It's gonna be over quick. The Rams, the game's gonna be over quick. I'm not impressed with the Rams this year at all. I think that the defense obviously got Aaron Donald just keeping it alive, but I just don't like the Rams as much as I used to like them last year with Gurley. And to me, the running game isn't as great as it was. The receivers are still top tier. You got Cup, you got Robert Woods, they're fine. But Van Jefferson hasn't really developed as that third guy. Brandon Cook, losing him really hurt the offense. He was a great weapon that they just gave to the Texans. So now you thought you could fill it in with a second-round rookie. That he hasn't done anything. He's still a rookie. Maybe next year for Jefferson, but not this year. And that's why his Rams offense isn't as great as it was last year. Russell Wilson's going to take over this game real quickly, and it's going to end up like the Saints Tampa Bay game, over quick.
Russell Wilson's going to turn the ball over twice in this game. I think you're wrong about that. And let me just say this. I don't believe in the Rams either. I told people the year they went to the Super Bowl, they would start to decline. And that's exactly what's happened. They've started to decline. So I'm just talking about this particular game. And that defense in Seattle is not holding anybody to 21 points, my friend. And I'm going to tell you right now, I like Turkey Club with vegan mayo on wheat grain bread. I'm trying to keep myself nice and lean, and tomato, lettuce, and turkey bacon. Cause I don't do the swine, I don't do the pork, and some Lay's plain chips on the side. And don't forget my Canada Dry ginger ale. So I'll take that on that game. Next one is an easy pick: Packers and Jags. Packers bounce back from the embarrassing loss. Division loss happens. You and I talked about that already against the Vikings. Going against the Jags. Jags are starting a rookie quarterback. This kid's got no business on the field. I'm not knocking him, but that defense is going to throw so much at them. And the Packers bounce back by going up to San Francisco, Santa Clara, and doing what they're supposed to do. You beat a team. You beat a team. Real quick, somebody in the box right now, Atlanta. I want to appreciate you guys. Everybody from the Michael Collier, the Collier clan is showing up. What's going on, people? I feel Lady Nina. About time you got over here, Lady Nina. But a question I want to answer real quick, because I love this right here, is she asked me, somebody asked me about DK and about DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey, and I love that question right there. Wow. I tell you this, man. I'm impressed with DK. Honestly, when I first saw kind of the hype, I'm like, the guy he's chiseled like crazy. So but watching him play, I just got to call it like I see it. That guy is a fucking man-child, man. That guy he's not the greatest route runner, and I think that could come with some help. You and I had a long discussion yesterday, and I told you how emotional I get with route running because it's such oh my God, people don't get it. It is such a damn craft. You just don't run, guys. There's your feet movement. There's the way you can move your hips, your eyes, your shoulders, hand placement. There's so much. I played receiver, so I know the position, and I played corner, so I know how to read a receiver. So there's so much that goes into it. People don't get it. He's not a Jerry Jeudy as far as route running. And, Steve Smith is pretty much they call Steve Smith the PhD giver of route running. But DK and Jalen, So not to ramble, just to give an answer. I'm going to pick Jalen Ramsey. I think DK will have his moments, but I think Jalen Ramsey is going to make the plays that are going to help the Rams win this game because I think the Rams had a better D, and I picked the Rams. So I'll take, who you got? You got DK?
I'm going Ramsey on that particular matchup.
Okay.
Just on that particular matchup because Ramsey, like you said, he's going to lock down. I think he's going to lock down DK based off DK not having the route running he needs just yet. That's a bad man.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey, that's a bad man. That's why he got traded for 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
That's a bad man.
He the best corner. He the best corner in football to you. Jalen's best corner in football to you.
Arguably, I can pair with number 1 right now.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with it. There's some other ones. I might.
You got Xavier. You got Xavier, and I'm not being a homer. He's proven it. You got Howard in Miami. Yeah, you got Howard in Miami. I still love Patrick Peterson. He doesn't get the pub, but I still love Patrick Peterson as an every down corner, every down guy that can go get it done. I still like Patrick Peterson. I still like Stephon Gilmore. I still love Gilmore. Gilmore is a defensive player of the year, reigning defensive player of the year. So Stephon Gilmore can still. There's some guys that can, but Ramsey's got that side. Ramsey's out of Florida State. And just really quick sidebar. There's a Viking fan. I don't know if he's listening or watching or not. That was telling me that Xavier Rhodes was done. And I tried to tell him, I said, no, he's not. Minnesota just has so many moving parts in front of him. You can't ask a guy to cover 5-6 seconds in the NFL. You can't do that. That's not how it's done. And you see how well he's playing for the number 1 ranked defense, the Indianapolis Colts in football. So I hate to be that and this is a conversation him and I had last year. Hate to be that I told you so guy, but they don't call me the Big Vanilla Madden for nothing, baby. Y'all better catch up with me, man. Let's move on with these games. Tampa and Panthers. Tampa coming off the embarrassing loss. They need this game. 2 under 500 teams that have completely impressed me because I watch the games. I just don't watch the highlights. I re-record. I record this website you guys can go to. NFL Network airs most of the games throughout the week, guys. If you guys want to go back and watch a game, just go to their schedule. They air some of these games, not every game, but maybe like 6 or 7 games. They air the whole game during the weekend, like 11 at night or midnight, 1 in the morning. Set your DVR and go back and watch these games. Panthers and Giants, 2 under 500 teams that play hard, they play smart. They just don't have all their pieces. We know what's going on with the Giants right now. Panthers were at McCaffrey for 6 weeks. It's hard, man. But I think they'll play hard. But Tampa needs this game, and I almost want to use this as my upset special, and I have until Sunday morning to switch. I'll do Tampa for right now. But I really do want to take Carolina in this game because Carolina showed me a lot this past weekend in Kansas City. Kansas City thought they could just show up with the red arrow with the KC on their helmet, and that would be enough. And Carolina, a well-coached football team, when undermanned teams show up and play very well against teams that should probably beat them by 20. That game came down to the last possession. I might switch, but I'll take Tampa.
Tampa's the easy choice this week, especially with CMC out. That same energy you saw last week in Kansas City, I don't know if it's there without CMC. Next week, he's supposed to be back, though. There's a great chance. We were talking, CMC should be shut down for the season, should not be. I think he's leaning towards it should be right now. If they could lose, if they lose 2 to 3 more games, he's then on that list where you should shut him down. But next week, that same energy you saw against Kansas City, I think they're going to bring it next week. This week is a little deflation. It's a little like, our leader's not there. Our guy, like you said, you're going to war on Sunday, and you're going to war without your best soldier.
All right, I feel that. Let down. We had KC on the rope, should have beat him. But I like to think, once again, well-coached football teams, that doesn't happen to. That happens to poorly coached football teams and poorly motivated football teams, like the Jets, like the bum-ass Jets, who are on a bye. But coming off of a bye, watch how they get their asses whooped the following week. They should have won the Patriot game Monday night. And you know how I feel about the bum-ass Jets because I call them the bum-ass Jets because they're just, quite frankly, all my life, the bum-ass Jets. I don't even wear green. You're not allowed to wear green in my house. My kids can't wear green. You're not even allowed to say green around me. If you grunt, I look at you like, what? You better be saying grimy or grenadine or something. Don't say green. Not around here, I don't. That's what Michigan State, and that's what the bum-ass Jets. But so because they're so poorly coached and they're so poorly motivated, watch how they come back and play off of a bye week. Watch how they come back and play. But I do feel like Carolina is a better coached team. And like I said, I might change this. And what it'll also do too is it'll put more pressure on Brady. And I think I want to see that. I think I want Brady to lose a few more games. So when November starts to turn to December, where Brady's record all time is like 35-4, some shit like that, I think I need to see that, man. So I have them now, but I have it till Sunday morning to change. Niners and Saints, this one was kind of easy to me. Saints are at home. They got some of their weapons back. Manuel Sanders looks good. Michael Thomas, 149 record in catches last year. We talked about this too. I thought he was on the trading block quietly, punched the teammate, got suspended. That's the longest hamstring and groin injury from a young star receiver I've ever seen. Wink, wink. I think they were fielding offers, didn't get nothing to tickle his fancy. He seems to rub some people wrong there, and I don't want to be that guy, but I think Drew Brees' comments about the players that kneel over the summer, I think really strained his relationship with some of these black players, whether they say it or not. And I think guys like him's like, dude, like, just You can't say that and then start to donate money and now you want to talk and now you want... Everybody that's on... Let me pull out the Big Vanilla color card. I show y'all all the time my little son's flashcards. It's not a deck of cards. That's my son trying to teach my son how to read and shit right now. Only at 10 months, right? We trying to raise a gene. See, they got a Big Vanilla color cards. Like this is if you playing spades, you got to shuffle the cards. Listen, if you have to be told about what the fuck racism is, if you have to be told that their black people are treated unfairly, systematically, educational, medical, housing, schooling, food, pharmaceutical, by the police, by the housing district, by the real estate offices, by the tax people, by employment, but if you have to be told this shit, by now, bruh, you're not trying to hear it. You're not trying to understand it. You're trying to hear it and understand it now because it might mess up some money for you, and you still got to go play with these Negroes. You still got to go line up and play. Last time I checked, like 4 of them offensive linemen that protect you, yeah, bruh. NBC
got on the phone because they have a contract for Drew Brees to step into the studio next year. When he made that comment, NBC was like, "You better issue your apology first thing in the morning."
Yeah, bro.
Be ready.
Yep, you got to go back and redo that, homie. Or we cannot bring you in, and you got to go talk to Black Lives Matter.
That's our money.
Yeah, you got to start eating sweet potato pie. That I heard his wife learned how to make neck bone. Now he making his own barbecue sauce. I heard he knows the theme song now. It's a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the Boondocks. This is some black stuff you got. Yeah, some black stuff. Cornbread. I heard he eat cornbread now. He know how to make hot water cornbread. So yeah, man. I wrote an article on the Medium about it. Fuck Drew Brees. That's how I feel about it, man. I don't play that shit. You don't get to come back around. You're not stupid, dude. You're not dumb. Like I don't like convenient stupidity. That shit drives me. You're not. And the fact that you're gonna try to make me think that I'm stupid, that I don't get this. No, bro. We're not doing that. But to the game, Niners Saints. I think the Saints got this one. The Niners are so banged up, and I almost feel for them because they're 4-5 now. This could also be an upset special too, because Shanahan that is a very well coached team. I know they got blown out last Thursday night against the Packers, but the Packers were coming off that loss on a short week against the Vikings, and they needed to show up like that. But I think the Niners, they've had 10 days now because they played last Thursday, so they've had some extra days to be prepared. Saints were in the locker room doing a lot of dancing after a regular season game. Jameis Winston, he was biting the W, and I think sometimes when you do that, you lose focus at what's in front of you. They might be looking past them like, And I think the Niners might show up and make this club. You know what? Fuck it, man. I'm going to do it right now. I ain't playing around with it. The VJs and Sportsmanlike Conduct, Vesson Sports, upset special of the week 10 NFL. The San Francisco 49ers will defeat the New Orleans Saints in a defensive, hard-fought, hard-hitting game. I like a shootout. I like 31-30 down to a last-second field goal. And Monday morning, the story is, did the Saints celebrate too much beating Brady and the Bucks and overlook the Niners? Stamp it down right now. I'll take the Niners.
So one of the things I got to bring out is that Thomas coming back, look at how quick that offense was to jump on his feet. They didn't look like the same Saints they were last year. They look like mediocre offense. They look like Drew Brees on his last leg carrying a bunch of random receivers that aren't ready yet. And with Kamara. So now when you got Thomas back, it's a chess piece. In football, you understand, you got to have that chess piece that opens up things for everyone else. So when you got Thomas back in the field, everything's opening up. His stats didn't jump off the line. You look at stats, it's kind of like he didn't really do much, but it's like one of those things where you step on the court, you step on the field, your team's better. Michael Thomas is that guy. He's a nightmare for teams. You're taking your attention away from a good balance on the field to now you got to zone in on Thomas. You got to stop him. He was the number one receiver last year. Mm-hmm. This guy was an absolute beast. Now, when you see the Saints celebrating, to me, that's kind of like them flipping off the media. That's, to me, it's like, you heard all the things. Drew Brees is done. He can't throw it long, and he still can.
I was about to say, whoa. He can't throw it long.
He He can't. But it was more like, hey, it's like we won, so we just, punched you right in the throat. Like we came out and just took out the GOAT, right, and beat them twice. No one in the AFC East had beaten them twice in how many years? The entire time.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but that also, that's no excuse. I was gonna say it's not Bill Belichick, but Sean Payton is a really good coach. So, all right, so you taking the Saints?
I'm taking the Saints.
Okay, and that's why I want to make that one my upset special, because you got the better team at home with the lower ranked team coming, and I just think that's a recipe for an upset. Bengals and Steelers, not a lot to talk about here. I'll take the Steelers.
Steelers, Joe Mixon out, not much chance for the Bengals, and Steelers gonna win that.
Yep. Also, too, man, you getting some love in here, man. This is from Dale Robb. Said definitely tuning into this last pod with y'all two was great. So getting some love out there. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Dale Robb, for tuning in, man. Listen, man. I'm telling you, listen.
That's a big time real estate agent in LA right there, man. Dale Robb.
Oh, is he?
Know his name. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm looking for a house. As soon as I get this contract and get this $1 million, I need to start investing and get it going. We're looking for a crib. I need a pool. I need a jacuzzi. I need a boom room. I need a man cave. I need room for. I want a house that I could go into part of it, and my wife and kids could just stay over. Like, I want an alarm code to my part of the house, so I could just go, listen, you have all of this house. Why are you over here? Why are you here? This is daddy world. I'll smoke my weed and watch porn on my phone. And no, I'm just playing. I only watch porn on my laptop. I don't watch it on my phone. Anyway, Joe, a little comedy. I always got to put a little bit in. Ravens and Pats. Pats coming off of a game that I really think they should have lost. Ravens coming off of a game that they were kind of nip and tuck with the Colts last week, and then the Colts decided they only wanted to gain 1 yard in the third quarter. Go figure. Me, I love the bang for my black quarterbacks. 2 black quarterbacks going head to head. Cam Newton on his knee with the kiss and the blow up at that was so telling to me. I think the last 2 years, 3 years, I don't think it's taken a toll on any player in any 2 or 3 year stretch of any mega MVP superstar in the NFL like this has on Cam. The media bangs on him, especially middle America, middle-aged white media love to bang on Cam Newton, and I follow it closely. I hear it, you see it. Our guy Colin, he's banging on Westbrook. We'll get into that a little bit. I already did a long-ass Westbrook rant to start because I love Westbrook, but of course, Colin's waiting right there to take down Westbrook, and I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm like, you guys are talking shit about Westbrook, and you guys go by all these bullshit numbers. I have some numbers right here that tells me he's a top 10 point guard of all time, but anyway, we'll get to that in a second. This should be an easy pick. It really is, and I think with the Patriots, you know what the Patriots are? The Patriots are the ex-girlfriend, who either cooked really well, or came to all your shit and supported you, or just was really, really good in bed. Like some of the best you've ever had. And it's hard to let go. It's hard to see bad in them. It really is. And the Patriots, that's who they are to me. The defense, I'm watching Frank Gore run through them Monday night. And it's like, Frank Gore is 53 years old. His grandson is in the league. Like, I'm watching P-Ron. P-Ryan was supposed to be a beast coming out of Oklahoma, and he's a journeyman now, even as a young running back. I'm trying to look at this team, and I'm like, God, Belichick's going to turn it around one weekend. The defense is going to, and I just go, you know what? After I watched the Jets game, no, this is who they are. Bill Belichick was very, very open, and he said, look, we sold out 3 Super Bowls. We played in the 4th. 1 conference championship game over the last 6 years. We only had $1 million to pay Cam. 5 starters on defense leave free agency. 3 others opted out of a COVID. You have 3 new starters on defense. No Edelman, no Gronk. Michelle's dad, the running back from Georgia, dad gets car accident with the mom. The dad's killed. The mom's in the cold. I mean, they've dealt with so much. No Gronk, no Edelman, no Welker. And you hand this over to Cam, and Harry, he's going to be a bust. I said it coming out of Arizona State. I know that's your alma mater. I know that's your squad. You and I have talked about this. I'll do it. Trust me. I'm watching it, and I'm like, nah, he don't have it. He has all the tools. size, speed, hands, route running. But you have to be wired a certain way to play the game of football, even on the semi-pro level, even on the college level. And he seems like the guy to me that was just always bigger, faster, and stronger than all the other kids. So he never really worked at the game. He never really worked, you know what I'm saying, at the game. And now you're to the point now where it's too late to work, bro, because everybody's outworked you already. You can't catch up and work. You have to already be there working. So he's not even a factor. Jacoby Myers is Cam's go-to guy. Isn't that the name of a damn law firm the commercial used to come on doing when your grandmama used? Y'all call them soap operas. When you black and you raised by your grandma in the summertime, she calls them her stories. Black people know what I'm talking about. Those are, y'all be quiet. I gotta watch my stories. Y'all go outside and play. My stories, but turn that Tecmo ball off. That's the old heads. Y'all don't know. Y'all young bucks don't know nothing about no Tecmo ball. Turn this Super Tecmo ball off. My story's coming on. And you see the commercial. Jacoby and Myers Law Firm. Have you been injured? Have you been shot? Have you been killed? Have you been stabbed? Have you been poisoned? Have you been cheated on? Did you catch them? Jacoby Myers will defend you. You know, all of that. That's his best receiver. So I want to take the Patriots. I just think the Ravens are a better football team, and the Ravens are trying to keep pace with the Steelers. I said a bunch of nothing to say that I'm picking the Ravens. Go ahead and give us your pick, Sage.
Well, first, I'm going to go Ravens. But to top off the Patriots on what you're talking about, first of all, their offense isn't designed for Cam. It's designed for the Patriots. So, in a way, they are kind of tanking this year. And in a way, they also are getting the players ready for next year. Because they don't want to change the system. They're letting them keep building in the same system, but they're not letting Cam, they're not unleashing the Cam that you know, that I know. They're making him play a different style. So obviously it's not working out. As he said, I gave up $1 million. No, you pretty much didn't want to change your offense for 1 year because you know you're going to draft one in the draft next year. So you're not going to change your system for a 1-year stopgap QB, which Cam is this year. And we're talking about let's bring up the Bears. I thought the Bears not go after Cam, but go after Foles first. We got the Super Bowl love from the Eagles. He was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl. Went to the Bears, became the head coach, and it's just, to me, you go after Cam first with the Bears. That Bears team was more built for Cam because you have the defense that's ready, that's playoff ready. I'll say it right now. Bears playoff, their defense playoff ready. Offense, it's a joke. You get Cam in there. You allow the running game with Montgomery to excel. Montgomery is a piece that the Patriots don't have this year. It's a lot of, Michelle. I know they got, the death of his the car crash. It was just, rest in peace.
That's tough.
That's a tough situation.
God, that's tough. Yeah. I don't even know if I could play this year. I might have just told Coach, listen.
On a COVID year.
Yeah, and exactly. And it's a down year for the Patriots anyway, right? I mean, I might have just been like, listen. Yeah, I'm going to go.
Here's why he won't, though. Here's why he won't. He's literally the heart and soul of the Patriots. Literally, I read an article this offseason on him, and they asked him, I think it was a person that just came into the Patriots, why is this guy always on the field? And it's because he has that Frank Gore in him. Loves football. Loves it. Literally, Josh McDaniels, that's my favorite, almost his favorite player on the Patriots, James White. Just loves football. Probably you'll see him in the NFL in his 30s, even if he's just that guy at the end of the bench helping out the other guy.
Yeah.
You've seen those guys, last round. Frank Gore, obviously, he's still getting yards.
Frank Gore's going to coach.
Oh, yeah.
Frank Gore's going to be somebody's running back coach, and eventually I can see Frank Gore being an Eric Bieniemy, and I'm dating myself here. I know I told you I got some years on you. People, young guys, and I don't want to be the old guy at the barbershop. I'm not trying to do that, but I'm just, because I don't think that the industry does a good job at teaching correct history. The industry, that's what we're trying to change with Veston Sports Network, is we're not doing clickbait shit. We're going to really educate you, and just don't mention Eric Bieniemy's name because he's the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. Go back and look at the type of all-around utility knife back he was for the Chargers, and he played in the Super Bowl. He's on the Stan Humphries team that goes against the Niners in 95 when the Niners were just Steve Young. That was the monkey off of Steve Young's back game, where Rice pulls the monkey off his bike on the sideline once they're up 30 points in the second half of that game. Eric Bieniemy is actually on that team. So that's, I mean, people need to learn their history, and that's what we really try to teach, and what we really try to do with VJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct, and what we try to do with Vets in Sports. So Frank Gore will be a coach, and I agree with you on White. White's the heart and soul of that team. But also, too, real quick, Daryl Robb is live right now, and I love this. Keep it coming, Daryl. I love the comments. He said Cam is an MVP. Even if he's declined, he's still in CI. Rob, listen, you were looking at one of the biggest Cam Newton fans on planet Earth, bro. Like, that's my guy. That's my favorite football player. And I've been defending Cam. Go on Spreaker.com and go on, look up Vets in Sports on Spreaker and go. You can just scroll. You ain't got to listen to the show. I title everything. Go back 3, 4, 5 years ago. You'll see the show's title, Cam Newton. Cam Newton, or stop doing this to Cam, or Cam. I've been talking about Cam Newton leading up to the Super Bowl when the dab was out there, 15-1. The defense is great. Cam's winning MVP. It felt like the media and a lot of fans that aren't really fans of black players being unapologetically themselves and unapologetically black the way Cam was. And I said, they're waiting for him to lose. So much to the point, our guy again, Colin Cowherd, goes on his radio show that day, and he goes, I want to talk about this narrative that we don't like Cam. I screamed at the TV. I said, because you don't. And you're lying. And guys like me see it. You're waiting for him to lose. You can't wait for him to lose. And the minute he lost the game to the Broncos, the media has never had Cam's back since then. And you're right, not just the Bears. You got guys like McCown that got a job. You got guys in the league. I'm looking at all these rookies that are now having to start because they're starter. Like if you're Jacksonville, Gardner Minshew, first of all, his name is Gardner Minshew. That's number one. You can't be my starting quarterback and your name is Gardner Minshew. Like, get out of here. Now they're in their third quarterback. Oh, the Dallas Cowboys. You don't have your quarterback right now because you didn't want to pay him. And then your backup got his head knocked off. You're on your fourth quarterback this year. Could have had Cam Newton. New York Jets. You're playing Flacco? Are you serious? Flacco? Sam Darnold? Stop it, guys. Stop it with the SC quarterbacks. I'm tired of it. Carson Palmer's what you got to go back to. JT Daniels, not even there no more at Georgia. My man Bryce, that played in Modern Day last year, signed to go there, was committed to go there, but then flipped to Alabama. He's out of there. What did Matt Leinart do in the NFL? What did Mark Sanchez do in the NFL?
Not much.
Yeah, stop with the SC quarterback shit, okay? They're not quarterback you. They don't put quarterbacks in the league. So
on the QBs getting paid, you mentioned Chase Daniel, bro. He got paid what? 3 years?
Yeah.
$1 million?
Yeah.
So right now, when you're mentioning, I was like, hold up, you're mentioning $1 million. I'm like,
yeah.
Chase Daniel got $13 million. He just in the bench this year.
You and I looked up yesterday, day before yesterday. We're on the phone, and as we're talking, I was looking at the highest paid quarterbacks, and I was scrolling. I was like, oh my God, do you see what these guys are making in front of Cam Newton? Like, listen, as a Dolphin fan, I said, listen, bring Cam in. You let him compete with Fitzpatrick. Whoever wins the job, because I knew they were going to start Tua. Whoever wins the job, either the other one takes the third job or you cut him. And you let him go sign somewhere else. It's essentially what happened with Fitzpatrick right now, right? He wants to be somewhere else. He wants to be playing somewhere. My man, also the issuation, I love that name, man. I hope I'm saying that right. Daryl Robb said Osweiler was my boy. Osweiler was trash, man. That was such a bad pick. I'm sorry, that was a bad pick by Denver to think he was going to be a first-round guy that was going to be a franchise changer. All you got to do is put the tape on. I'm a quarterback. I really am, man. I'm not a guru, but I'm a savant, man. I watch quarterbacks. I watch feet. I did a earlier this week on DJ Uiagalelei from Clemson. I watched him and called his games at John Bosco his junior and senior year out here for Fox Sports West Prep Zone. I love everything about the young man except for one thing. I'm not always happy with his feet. And when he doesn't have his feet together, the ball dives or he throws interceptions. In the state championship game in the CIF Division I Southern Sectional against Modern Day, he threw 3 picks. All 3 picks, just go look at his feet. Every other pass was on. But the 3 interceptions he threw, Just go watch his feet. And that's what I look at when I watch quarterbacks. We can talk quarterbacks all day. I want to get through the rest of these picks. The chat room is jumping. Listen, man, I love this right now. Daryl Robb is like sold all in. Like, we might got to bring Daryl Robb in on the show, because I like when I get that kind of love. When somebody give me that kind of love, I want to put you on my platform and let you talk. I don't have no people. I had a guest on one day and I let him ramble for 20 minutes. Guys, listen, were texting me, are you taking over your show? Listen, man, don't make no mistake about it. This isn't an arrogant thing. It's just true. This is my fucking show. I own this shit. I own the rights on iHeart. I own the rights on Spreaker, my YouTube channel, my IG. I give a platform for people to talk and for people to get it out. Not just ask you a question. But wait a minute. What about this? But what about, like, damn, dude, there are professional radio stations that do that to me. They'll bring me on the show, but then the host cuts me off like every fifth word. It's like, dog, can I say what the fuck I'm going to say? Damn. Or what about his 4.2 yards? Or what about when he scored 3 touchdowns? Shut up. And so anyway, Daryl Robb, come on in, man. So, we're both taking the Ravens on this. Let's move on. Giants and Eagles. This is a big game. 2-7, 3-4-1. That division's still open. I picked the Eagles to win it. But man, it wouldn't surprise me if the Giants got on a run, because they play hard. They play super hard. And the Eagles, you just don't know. You know what, bro? I'm going to take the Giants in this game. I'm going to take the Giants at home over the Eagles. And I'm going to take the points too, man. I'll take the Giants over the Eagles and give me the field goal. So I'll take the Giants over the Eagles. Who you got?
That's a good trap game, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna. I think it comes down to field goal. I'm gonna still give it to the Eagles, but Giants are playing hard, been impressive, especially without Barkley. You would have thought they would have threw in the towel. You would have thought Daniels did not look good. He's looked a little bit better. He's getting a little bit people hope. It's more like we were for sure gonna need a quarterback first round, and now we're leaning back. Okay, maybe second, third round we start looking, but if they got the right pick, because they're going to be an early pick, unless they start winning some of these trap games, the Giants are going to be early pick. You got to look for QB. Daniels isn't really and for me, I know that he's giving a little false hope right now, been playing hard, and he had that long run play where he just tripped up, but it was the fastest QB play. But the San Antonio Ghost must have got him.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry, the comedian. Everybody knows me knows that I'm an 18-year veteran comedian. I started my career in the DMV. And out here to LA, I've done Kevin Hart's radio station. I do Earthquake Show. I've done my Michael Carr. I'm on a lot of different platforms. So the comedian in me always has got to come out. People can take how they want to take it. When I'm watching Daniel Jones on that scramble, and he trips and falls like that, the only thing I can say is, see, I told y'all white boys can't run. Look at this shit. And see, if that was a brother, where my football at? If that was a brother, and they had his hand on his head like this, he'd have been at the 20 looking back like this. Daniel Jones it's like, man, I told y'all, man, y'all don't got no rhythm. Y'all can't even run 70 yards without tripping and fall. Just the comedian in me was like, look at this shit. He can't even run 70 yards without tripping over his own damn feet. Let's stay with this game just for a quick second. Let's talk quarterbacks, because I've said my piece about Tua. I'm not going to pom-pom push for him, but I'm not going to bang on him. But I do not believe he is the savior, because I grew up on Marino, so I'm just going to stay there. I do want him to do well for Miami. I do want him to change the winning culture of Miami. I would love to see him go to playoff games and take us to playoff games. And I told people he's got to take me to a bowl. He ain't got to win it, because Marino didn't win one. Marino took us to one. But he's got to take me, as a fan, he's got to take me to a bowl. Conference, division round and conference shit over the next 7-8 years, that does nothing for me, bruh. I got to see them win one before the good Lord calls me home. I can't go to jail. I can't go to jail either. I'm not jail fit at all. I can't go to jail. That's why I do not break the law at all. Other than I will steal from the grocery store if I'm in the self-checkout line. It's just little shit. I don't want to buy that cheese. When you go get the fried chicken, you get breast and wings. Just tell them put it in the same bag, and you just scan the scanner for the wings. Don't scan the breast. Breast should be free. It's a pandemic. Anyway. I've said my piece about Tua, but I did also say too, and I might be wrong about this, but I did say I thought Jalen Hurts was better. I thought Jalen Hurts was better at Alabama, and I thought Jalen Hurts, all he did was just go to Oklahoma and take them right to the college playoff. Correct. Was a finalist for a Heisman, correct? So I thought Jalen Hurts was better. If you're the Eagles and the Giants, who loses their job first, Jalen Hurts or I mean, who loses their job first? Daniel Jones or Carson Wentz? Who loses their job first?
Oh, Daniel Jones, without a doubt. And if Carson Wentz is on a clock, the sand is dripping every game. But I think you need to give Jalen more time. Like, don't rush him. If you can give him the Brett Favre treatment and give Carson 2 more seasons, then I think that's the right move, because you need to get.
They're playing Jalen Hurt now, though. They got packages for him.
In like the running back, I'm talking about like throwing.
Okay.
You want him to start getting that. Like, he's not Russell Wilson. Like, he's not like everyone. Like, I heard he can beat Russell Wilson. No, I was there for Russell Wilson's first ever NFL starting game. He is not Russell Wilson. I've seen it. I've seen the progression. I've seen it from the beginning to now. He is not Russell Wilson, but Jalen Hurts is going to be nice. He's going to be great. He needs time. Because if you rush guys in there, you can get him hurt. He can get banged up. Now he's not developing. He's like, I just got to ice my shoulder so I can at least throw the ball this week.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles, I mean, they
don't have any weapons to put Hurt in.
They need to build the roster a little bit.
Yeah. They were using practice squad receivers in practice for the first offensive unit just to be able to run practice. They were hey, you over there with the chips. What's that guy's name? They're selling the chips. Rufus. Hey, Rufus. Get your ass over here and run an 8. Run an 8 and then run a 7. You're not playing Sunday. Just stand your ass right here and just run. Hey, Carson, yeah, let's go. We got to get something done today. So I'm with you on that. Don't throw him in yet. Okay, so then let's go to Daniel Jones. If Carson loses his job first, what do you do with Daniel Jones at 2-7? Let's say they end up 3-13, number 2 or number 3 pick. Is it Justin Fields?
Yes. I mean, you got. I'll do more digging and research on QBs right now. That's how I'm feeling. As right now today, Justin Fields is the right move.
Because you got Jones out of Alabama. There's some other QBs that are kind of making. There's some QBs that are kind of making a move. I don't like him. Daryl Robb said nobody is Russell Wilson. That's facts. Also, too, shout out to my man. My hobbyist on here. Vero25, appreciate you guys. Says Steelers are only going as far as Ben needs could take them. That is absolutely right. I will also tell you this, too, about the Steelers and Big Ben, and we'll get into that in a second. Actually, are they on a bye? No, they got a game this weekend. They're not on a bye this weekend. Something else about the Steelers, I will tell you, it's not just that they can't run the football. That's going to be their doom in the postseason, is they cannot run the football. I guess we're starting to see how great Le'Veon Bell was, because you thought, what Connor can do. The NFL does one thing better than every other league, is they get film on you. And once they get film on you, if you're not legit or if you're not truly the shit, we're going to find out. You can't run and hide in the NFL. You can hide a batter in a lineup. You can hide a goalie with big bruising defensive goons in hockey. You can hide a bad defender in basketball by making them switch on a pick and roll or playing bullshit zone in the NBA that we just saw in the bubble, which is more regulated for only Syracuse in college basketball, the YMCA, and some high schools. Play man in basketball. Grab your manhood and or if you're ladies, grab your womanhood and man up and play some goddamn D. This damn zone shit we seeing on the pro league. So you can hide. You can't hide in football, because at the end of the day, you got to buckle that chin strap. You got to snap on them shoulder pads, and it's man on man, it's body on body. Sooner or later, we gonna know whether you can play or whether you can't. So that's something that's happening with the Steelers. So I just wanted to read a few of their comments.
With Le'Veon Bell, with the Steelers offensive line, it's declined. But also with Le'Veon Bell, he's still the same talent to me that he was when he left the Steelers. It's just Adam Gase has no idea at all what he was doing with the Jets. The bum-ass Jets. I'm sorry, I got to correct myself on that.
Yeah, when you're on this show, you got to call them the bum-ass Jets. And we don't have a curse jar here like we do on the Michael Carter. Ain't no curse jar here. We cuss. The first time my son cuss, I'm going to probably look at him and go, you better not let your mother hear you say that. We might be out in the driveway one day, and he like, fuck, man, hold up. Shh, before your mom, shh, be quiet before your mom hear you, man. You better not say that in front of your mom and your grandma. You're going to get me in trouble. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So when we're talking about the offensive line, same thing was happening with Zeke right now, and a little bit with Josh Jacobs right now. We're talking about the decline of the rushing per yards. With Zeke, the Cowboys' offensive line is starting to decline too. They were one of the best, and they still are, probably like, let's say 10 to 15 best offensive line, but they're not the number one. At one point, 2 years ago, their Cowboys' offensive line was the best in the NFL. They were opening up the holes. The Dak had so much time to throw it in. It was unbelievable. And you got the problem with the Steelers right now is James Conner's a good running back, but their hole's not there. That's why. And then they got the receiver, so they're constantly going to be passing the ball. They got Chase Claypool. You got weapons. But right now, the Steelers, they're undefeated, but they're definitely not the quote unquote best team in the NFL. I heard you say on the Michael show earlier today, Steelers aren't the best team. I know she was making a really, signing up for her team, but they're not the best team in the NFL right now. There's a couple better teams than them, and right now, we look back to the Pittsburgh Broncos game. Didn't the backup QB almost beat them?
Yeah.
With the Broncos?
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're not. They're not the best team.
I didn't know if I forgot or anything.
They're undefeated, yes, but they're not the best team. And I've talked about the Steelers on other shows that I've done, and I have their games right here. That Giants team that I talk about, that's super tough, 26-16. Giants were in that game. Broncos 21-26. Texans 28-21. That Eagles game was 38-29, but it was 31-29 late in that game. And the Eagles, once again, were playing practice squad guys and guys that drive for Uber Eats and DoorDash a week ago were playing receiver for them that game. They had a receiver catch like a 70-yard, break a tackle and shake a safety late in the game to put that game away. Browns are the Browns. They blowed them out. But even though I said the Titans a fool's goal, the Titans should have won that game. The Ravens should have beat them, and the Cowboys should have beat them. They won those games 24-21, 28-24, and 24-19. Listen, man, we've seen undefeated, okay? We watched the Patriots lambaste guys the first 8 weeks of the year. We watched the greatest show on turf lambaste teams and shred teams the first 8 weeks. We've seen the 94 Niners, the 94 Giants. Don't get me started on the early 90s Bills teams that would jump out 7-1. They were putting 40 points, 45 points. It was no question. I look at this Steelers team, I'm like, all right, y'all 8-0, but trust me, when the playoffs start, you better Big Ben and just throwing the ball. The defense will keep them in games. But if you guys don't have weapons on offense and can run the football, they don't have a shot. They'll be the Patriots of last year. Here come breakfast. They got the breakfast on the show. There you go. Y'all see my homie, man, joining me right now. Lady Nina in the building. What's up, Lady Nina? She said, little baby vanilla. I call him actually vanilla fun size, like the little small candy for Halloween. Like fun size pack of Snickers or fun size pack of Skittles, fun size Butterfinger. Yeah, he vanilla, so he like a fun size Butterfinger. This is my little fun size vanilla with his breakfast right there. Right, buddy? You talking? He's a Dolphin fan. He's the only team I gave him. That's because one of my wife's friends sent him a hoodie. So I'm like, all right, I try to want to pick his own teams. All right, man, let's get back into these picks. Another easy game. Neither one of these teams are going anywhere. Washington football team and Lions. Wow, that's actually a hard one for two bad teams. I'll let you go first. Let me marinate. Let me marinate my cerebellum on that real quick. Washington football team and the Lions.
Washington football team and the Lions. So I was actually impressed with Alex Smith was able to do last week. If he comes back and does a little bit what he does, I think they can pull the upset this week and beat Detroit. Totally upsettable week for Washington.
Would it be an upset? 2-6, 3-6. Would it be an upset?
I mean, it's an upset when you're on your third string QB now.
How about Alex Smith last week, though, man? Like, from that leg injury, there's a picture online of what it looked like without the cast and stuff on, how when they were shaving meat off there's a picture online. I looked it up, dog. It looked like something out of Aliens, bro. Like, I was like, damn. And when I saw that, for him to be, they were going to amputate his leg. Like, his career was over. And for him to fight back and get back on the field, Haskins, and I want to say this, you just going to drink milk like that all down your chin, and there's honey dips. Look, there's honeys watching, and you're just going to have milk. See, this what parents do. We don't care. We just wipe with our hand and then wipe it on our shirt. When you got a kid, you just do. Yeah, we ain't always got a napkin around. But when I look at what Alex Smith's been able to do in the comeback, and just really quick, I will say this about Washington football team quarterback situation. I asked you about Justin Fields a minute ago. I'm not sold on Justin Fields because I'm never sold on an Ohio State quarterback. Give me the successful Ohio State quarterback. We can go Terrell Pryor. We can go Braxton Miller. We can go Troy Smith. We can go what was Cordell? What was the Cordell kid? Cordell something, but went to the Bills, right? We can and then Haskins.
Joe Burrow though?
Huh?
He was Ohio State QB. Joe Burrow's a back. He beat. I mean.
Oh no! Joe Burrow is an LSU QB because he ain't play. He didn't play at Ohio State. He's an LSU QB. You ask Joe. How about this? Call his mama and ask his mama what he is. Like they say, mama call him Clay. I'ma call him Clay. Mama said he played at LSU. I'ma say he from LSU. He was there. Okay, so then call Justin Fields. Hey, how about Georgia? Would they not like to have Justin Fields back right now? Speaking of college football, so okay, so let me get my pick on it. Oh shit. I want to take the Lions because it feels easy, but honestly, Washington plays tough too. They don't get blown out of games. Washington plays tough. I think they're blown out of maybe one game. All right, I'll go. You know what? I'll go with I'm from the DMV. I'll go DMV. And Lady Nina's from the DMV, and she's on the Michael Collier show every morning, so she sees me there. So, hey, Lady Nina, you see, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the home team. I go with the Washington football team. The insinuation says is Jalen Hurt, Alabama or Oklahoma. See, I said Alabama, and when you think of Jalen Hurt, what do you think of him as though? You don't really think of Alabama. Oklahoma. You think of him as Alabama. National championship, came in and saved the SEC championship game when Tagovailoa got hurt. Jalen Hurt is, even the whole thing where he lost his starting job to Tua. So when I think of Jalen Hurt, I don't think of Oklahoma. I think of Alabama.
I was thinking he's more the guy that posts workout videos after his games.
Yeah. Well, there's number one, he's strong as shit. He squats or deadlifts five. I think he deadlifts 500. I don't think he squats it, but they say he squats like 454. Like they say he's ridiculously strong. That's why I think he works in the NFL. Low center of gravity. You got to have strong legs if you're going to be a running quarterback. But also, you're pushing off your back foot when you're throwing the ball anyway. You ain't supposed to be throwing off your back, but supposed to be pushing off of it. So the stronger your legs. Are you serious, dude? Or is it that good? Y'all being entertained by this fool? He talking about some, was it good? But yeah, they say he is a workout, he's a workout giant, man. They say he is super strong. I'll take Washington football team. Texans and the Browns. This is another one for me because I want to say the Browns because they're at home. I think the Browns are the better football team. The Texans are screwed. They got no first-round draft picks. And we'll end in here on IG. I really appreciate everybody. Guys, I'll just restart another IG. Just stay. When you see me start live again, just jump right back in. IG only gives you an hour. They need to change that, man. You should be able to stay on IG live as long as I want. How you going to tell me how long I can stay on? I should stay on as long as I want to be on. I'd be on here all damn day if you can't even do it. What if somebody want to do a telethon? They got to keep going out and coming in. So, Sage, it's going to cut you off. Jump right back in, brother, all right? Everybody listening on Spreaker.com, I appreciate everybody that's joining in and listening right now. So we have to wait for the IG to restart and reload again. Such great conversations, such great things going on right now. And I hope everybody does jump back in as soon as possible, man. I would love to see everybody back in. Great talk. We're live right now on Spreaker.com with VJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct. My son has joined us this morning with his milk all over his face and all the honey dips. Seeing his milk all on his face this morning. Let me go ahead and post this old video, and then we'll get right back into the sports talk, guys. And my bad. So check the connection, and we are live again back on IG. So once Sage gets back on, we'll get back in here. But Texans and Browns, I'll just kind of start there right now. And this should be an easy game. To me, I'm looking at this game. This should be an easy game. It should be an easy pick. But when I look at both these teams, it's like they can almost win every game, and then they can almost lose every game. The Texans are screwed. They fired their coach right now. They don't have a GM. They don't have a first or a second round pick that belongs to the Dolphins for Laramie Tunsil. So the Laramie Tunsil, that pick is gone. For Laramie Tunsil, they traded DeAndre Hopkins, which is their best player. They're not getting much out of David Johnson. What's going on, Sage? Good to have you back. I was just going on about the Texans right now, about how screwed they are. They don't have a first-round draft pick. They gave it up for Laramie Tunsil. They don't have a second. They traded DeAndre Hopkins. They're not getting much out of the running game. They paid Deshaun Watts. They paid D. Watts, but that's all you got. You got J.J. Watt was on the table to be traded. People were thinking they were looking to be sellers at the trade deadline, and they look like they can win a lot of games, but they're losing a lot of close games because they just don't have the weapons. The Browns are coming off of a bye. You got the COVID issue with Baker Mayfield. OBJ is now done for the year. Jarvis Landry got to be the number one. You got a running back Chubbs on IR. I'm looking at this game and I'm like, damn, I really want to take the Browns, but I just think this is where the Browns kind of just beat the Browns and turn into the Browns. And I'm going to take a road team here, bro. I'll take the Texans over the Browns on Sunday. I like that pick. I'll take the Texans over the Browns in this one.
The Texans, to me, were a couple moves away from looking genius, but instead looked like complete morons.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, when they got Tunsil, I was like, okay, I understand that. Because, one, their offensive line was terrible. And then Deshaun Watson, I think rookie year, get hurt because his offensive line was just struggling that bad with him. So I understand, okay, let's say I go after a Pro Bowl lineman, those cost 2 first-round picks automatically. Because how long does it take to develop a Pro Bowl lineman? They don't just get ready year 1. They get ready more like year 2, year 3 when they start bulking up after they're still continue their progressions. Most of them do not come out balling the first year. So then you traded Hopkins because of salary. He wanted, $27, $29 million, the highest paid receiver right now. Why didn't you go after Diggs? The Vikings gave him up to the Bills for nothing. You were willing to give up first-round picks for your offensive line. Why weren't you willing to give up a first-round pick to get Diggs to replace Hopkins? At least give your quarterback a chance. Because right now, Will Fuller has done a great job. I'll give him that. He's done solid numbers. Brandon Cooks, he's done better as a late. He's looked like a legit wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1 right now in terms of fantasy his past 3 weeks. So the Texans were just one move away from looking semi-decent with their moves instead of look like complete morons. When you give up Hopkins, you take the leader out of your locker room. Your defense isn't where it was a couple of years ago when they were playoff ready to need an offense to, kind of like that Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger rookie year. We just need a QB to come in and hopefully we can get by with their defense looking so amazing. That didn't work out. They got to rebuild. You got to. I think J.J. Watt's out after this offseason just due to salary complications. He couldn't go after this at the trade deadline. He's got to go. He's not willing to stay for a 2 to 3 year rebuild. You know who is? Deshaun Watson and Tunsil with all that money they just got.
Yeah, they have to.
Hey, you guys gotta build it. I don't care. Like, you guys got your money. You guys are the foundation piece. You guys gotta step up.
I'm with you on that. I disagree on Fuller. I don't think Fuller's reached his potential. I'm not sure if he will.
He's not Hopkins. He's done decent this year.
No. I mean, you're decent if you're the number one. You're getting more targets your way. But he's also left him hanging with some of the nagging injuries he's had and some of the case of the dropsies that he had and some big games and some big moments. So I'm not going to put that all. I just hate the fact that D. Watts is kind of just left out by himself and that he's got the money and Tunsil's got the money. But, Fuller is a free agent. He's an unrestricted free agent this summer. They're going to lose Fuller. Fuller's not going to resign there. Right? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess he wanted. Is Fuller's not going to resign, right? Fuller's not going to resign. Okay, I just thought. Yeah. That's what he said. He said Fuller's. He agrees with his dad. Yeah, Fuller's not resigning there, so they're going to lose Fuller, and I think that's why Fuller didn't get traded. Jackie McMullen, who's one of the columnists that I respect the most in sports talk, she said from sources the price was just a little too high for what people were asking for, and they figured they could get him this summer if they want him. This offseason, if they really want him, they can get him late winter, early spring in free agency. So, I kind of that's what I'm saying. I said they could get him in free agency a lot cheaper, right? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, he just likes to repeat what I'm saying. He repeats it and then act like it was him. My son did me like that. So, your squad, man. Let's get out of this game. Broncos and Raiders. I asked you. The number one question I asked you the other day, first of all, I'll take the Raiders. I don't think the Broncos have a shot. I do want to watch Jerry Jeudy run routes, though. I'll take the Raiders in this game. But I asked you a question the other day, and you said, yeah. I disagree. I asked you, is Carr your quarterback? And you said, yeah. And I'm like, Here's the thing. You know why I don't think he's your quarterback? Because I'm not sold that Gruden thinks he's your quarterback. That's why I don't think he's your quarterback. And if they have a chance to get a guy, and if they like a guy in the first round this year or in the second round of the draft, they'll go get there. They'll go get another guy because they'll say, well, listen, we gotta build for the future. And I've been with Gruden you can go listen to shows. Raynell's a Raider fan, she'll tell you. When they traded Matt, I told Raider fans, relax. You got to give up something to rebuild this. When they traded Amani Cooper, I said, relax. You got to kind of give these guys. Everybody's like, well, Khalil Mack. Honestly, you guys had a 28th ranked defense with Khalil Mack. The same way I felt about. It's the same way I felt about Ndamukong Suh is when people were like, oh, you guys got Ndamukong Suh. The 4 years he was there in Miami, our run defense, 28th, 26th, 29th, 30th. It's like you paid a guy $102 million to anchor the defense for the run, and that's what your run defense was. So I've always agreed with all the moves. I love Mike Mayock. I miss Mike Mayock on NFL Network because I felt like I got smarter. Every time I heard Mike Mayock, I felt like I was smart about football. So I trust what you guys are doing there, man. I'll take the Raiders in this game. But you think Carr's the quarterback? I don't. I think they're going to replace Carr this offseason. You watch what I tell you. They went after Mariota, and if Mariota wasn't hurt, let's remember that. They went after Mariota.
There's a reason why they went after Mariota. Because if you look at it from a strategical aspect, if Carr, and a lot of my fantasy football leagues had a lot of arguments with the guys. I said Derek Carr's our guy, and if he's not, let's say theoretically he's not our guy. Our plan would be you let Carr go after the season, you trade him for whatever late round pick. Mariota is a new stopgap. You draft a rookie, and Mariota's gone after that when the rookie comes in. But because that's not the case, because like that old saying goes, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like the Chiefs got 40 pointed on. The Super Bowl champs got 40 pointed on, and let me remind you, that could have probably been more points. They left. How do you put 40 points on the board on the Super Bowl champs, who are still the favorites? Which I saw a comment earlier. Yes, they are still the favorites. You gotta respect what Gruden's doing, and I'll also give you another praise on your comment early on, Judy. Gruden said the same exact thing you just said earlier on the show. He said his route running just amazing. He's even telling Ruggs, your route running needs to still get to that level. But they're different weapons. Like, Judy is that guy route running. Like you said, route running, there's a certain, just appreciation for a receiver like that. I was high on Judy and still high on Judy been the entire time. I was kind of like, why did everyone fade on him so quick? Because it was like, the knees. Man, this guy was supposed to be a top 3 pick, but again, like you also brought up, based off need. There wasn't many wide receiver need teams in the top 10. That's why it kind of fell into that 10 to 20 where all those teams were wide receiver need teams. And you saw it trickle down at one point after the Ruggs. All the receivers started getting taken right after that. So it started kind of going. But the Raiders, you're looking at them right now, they're 100% drafting defense next year with the first round pick. Like, I don't see any other way. You can hear from Mayock's comments, the guy you appreciate. He's echoing what I think too. The defense needs more talent. It needs more talent. They're young and they're way more talented than they were 2 years ago. Shout out to Mayock for getting Jonathan Abram because the guy's a flat out stud. And yeah, I see Raul. Judy is a dog. Mm-hmm. You need dogs on your team. You draft them when they're there. Great pick by the Broncos. Yeah. You got to understand what the Broncos think. You're locking in the guy because now you're in a division. You got Herbert, Carr, and Mahomes. You got to be great. There is no QB managers in the AFC West anymore. If Carr was a QB manager, they would have had to drop another QB by now because Carr in his QB managing days the past couple of years, just keeping the roster wasn't good. And you could hear Gruden. Carr did what he could with the rosters I had because we did not have much. And it's true. They did not have much. They didn't have name receivers last year. You couldn't. Tyrell Williams, hurt. He was gone the whole rest of the year. I'm talking like Hunter Renfrow was even hurt for part of the year, and he's one of the great up-and-coming guys from Clemson. Game-winning TD against Alabama. They know his name.
I like Renfrow. I like Hunter Renfrow. I like Hunter Renfrow, and I like Waller. I hear everything you're saying. I hear everything you're saying. But I'm going to stand on my guns as I always do. I don't flip-flop. If I'm wrong, I'd rather just come out and say, hey, I got this one wrong. I don't try to flip-flop or use a back door or leave an open-ended. Like the other day, last week when Cowherd called Tua thinks he's going to be a bust, you finish it with, but I hope I'm wrong. But I hope I'm wrong. But I'm like, nah, man. Nobody want to hear that whack. Nobody want to hear that weak shit. Either say it or either mildew or barbecue, man. Either, you know what they say, either shit or get off the pot. And let somebody else that's got to go to the bathroom sit down. So, I just...
One more point on Carr, man. 16-1.
You sound like a Raider fan. That's why I'm having a hard time agreeing with you, because you sound like a Raider fan.
Hey, no, but I'll come over fast. I watch the team really closely. Like,
yeah.
I overwatch it. So I get, like, I had to calm down my senses sometimes to get real. Because I was real. I was like, if Carr doesn't come out, there was someone like, for Derek Carr? Hell yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was game one, because if you don't come out game one, Mayock's like, I'm going to be at every college football game. I think a QB can be drafted. Like, or 16-2, my bad on that, good call. But yeah, 110 QB rating right now. The guy has been playing great. And here's the other thing I mentioned. The Gruden has a complicated offense. You want a rookie? He hates rookie QBs coming into the offense because why? It takes time to learn. And you got to not just learn it, you got to also be able to audible out of it. And rookie QBs, I don't care what QB in this draft, none of them will be able to do that off the bat. There's not. So now you're thinking, this Raider roster's been getting good. If they didn't have Carr do good, that's a setback for 2 to 3 years. That's a 2 to 3 year setback if Carr wasn't the QB for this team. That means that we're going to be in another almost mini rebuild because we couldn't get a QB to come in. That's how bad it is.
Listen, I hear you. I hear you. And we're going to revisit this. And I'm not saying he's bad. I don't want Raider fans. I'm not saying he's bad. But I think, in my mind, Gruden and Mayock have their eye on a rookie to draft this upcoming draft. And that's not to say Carr's not the quarterback next year. But if they do that in the first 2 rounds, that tells me that they feel he's good enough to get them where they're going now. But is he good enough to overtake the Chiefs? Is he good enough? The Dolphins are on their way. The Bills have arrived. The Titans are good. The Colts are good. The AFC, you got some. Listen, if the Chargers can hold on to a lead, the Chargers would be 5-3. They just can't hold on to it. They're not getting blown out, and they got a rookie, and they're playing a rookie quarterback. The Chargers aren't getting blown off the field. Hey, let's get real. You thought you lost the game Sunday, because off first look, it looks like a catch until they show you that low camera angle where you see the ball comes loose, because the refs got together and talked, and everybody's like, okay, no, that's a touch. It's going to be reviewed anyway, but we're going to call it a touch. That's what we feel. So if you look at the Chargers, but once again, I'm not judging him just on him. I'm judging where they are, where they're trying to go, who's good in the AFC, your division. Is he that guy to get the Raiders where the Raiders want to be over the next 3 to 4 years? And I think Gruden and Mayock, especially with this draft, and trades can be done, and trades can be. Look, don't you guys got 2 first rounds again this year? Oh, is that just are both of those? Those are all spent.
We're back to the ones this year.
Oh, okay. So you spent your back-to-back years. I haven't too.
And then off the top, we were saying Gruden and Mayock find that QB. Are they gonna find them that late in the draft? Because Raiders aren't a really big team this year. So as much as like I want to say like our like the theory of the Raiders drafting a QB, is that guy gonna be there this year? Other years they were in position, early picks that could have got QB. Now are the QBs?
There's always guys, Sage. There's always guys. Russell is a third. Dak is a third. Right. There's guys. I'll put it to you like this. I know everybody loves Trevor Lawrence, number 1 overall. I get it. But if you don't have a line and you don't have a number 1 receiver, or if there's just a stud like Jamar Chase, the wideout, and people thought Jefferson was good at LSU, Their leading receiver last year was Jamar Chase, who was just a sophomore. Jamar Chase couldn't come out of school, or he'd have been in the draft too. If you're sitting there, if you're the Jets with the number 1, the front office has said Gase and Darnold, they're part of the future. Whether you guys listen to us or believe us or not, I don't think it's this foregone conclusion that he's number 1. And we didn't see Joe Burrow at the start of last year. Joe Burrow's on nobody's draft radar board.
None.
And just has a season with a bunch of other NFL stars. But it showed in the league, though, he could play. So though this idea that it's got to be we just talked Russ. You just said it yourself. Nobody's Russ. Remember, the Seahawks signed Matt Flynn and gave him all that money, and Russ beat him out in training camp. He never even got the start. He never even got the start for the Seahawks. So it's happened, and Dak's a 4th rounder. Thank you, I appreciate that. And she's also, and this is true, the 2021 class is loaded. Quarterbacks that are coming next year, it's loaded. This year's, to me, you can get you a back and a receiver. There's always linemen and defensive players and stuff, but there's some backs and receivers. You got Travis Etienne out of Clemson, Jamar Chase receiver. You got Smith, the receiver out of Ohio State. There's some guys that it's like, okay, we don't have a quarterback, but if we're the Jets, maybe we get Darnold number 1. And we're the Giants, maybe we get Daniel Jones a number 1. And don't worry about going for Trevor when we don't have nobody. Sterling Shepard's our best guy. Why not add Jamar Chase to Sterling Shepard? Let our tight end get healthy. Bring back Saquon. Lose the 2nd and 3rd round picks to bolster the offensive line. The defense is there. Jabril Peppers looks like the Michigan player. He didn't in Cleveland, but he gets out in Cleveland. He gets to New York. The defense is there. So you see what I'm saying? So I pumped the brakes on quarterback number 1 overall. I just think, hey, listen, you could take a quarterback number 1 overall, but at the end of the day, dude, you got to rush the passer too. You got to be able to run the football, and you got to have somebody to protect him and somebody for him to throw. The Dolphins, I don't know if it was a mistake, but Miami had the number 1 pick, went 1-15, and they took Jake Long out of Michigan. Bill Parcells was the VP of operations, was the GM, and they're like, oh my God, Matt Ryan's sitting right there. His quote was, no good to have Matt Ryan if you can't protect him. We can't protect anybody right now. We got to start building the line first. Now, Matt Ryan's had a great career in Atlanta, but 28-3 in the Super Bowl. That's not his fault because he don't play defense. But has he won a Super Bowl for them? No. And right now, after all that success and all those yards and all those touchdowns, they're looking at moving on from him. So, next game up, Bills and Cardinals. I think, and this one, I think we have, just a few more. Bills and Cardinals. This one is super interesting to me because I think the Cardinals, listen, like I said, I'm a realist. The Cardinals probably should have won the game last week. They probably should have beat Miami. Not going for it on 4th and 1 when you just went for it on 4th and 1 last drive and got the 4. When you have Kyler Murray, listen, if I have Kyler Murray and I'm past the 35, I go for it on 4th and 1 and I run RPO because you have to account for him. And even if you read it perfectly, he's that good. He can make that one guy who made it perfectly miss. He did it 3 times to Miami. 3 times Miami had to play red. They had to play stumped out. He's just so damn good, he makes that play. Earlier you talked about a team kind of, we let one get away. I think the Cardinals showed with that. And I think Buffalo comes in with a false sense of security. And I talked about this and I looked this up too. Buffalo put up a tremendous amount of points. And people were, totally sold on Buffalo and Buffalo's offense. I'm like, dude, if you go back and look at like 4 of their previous games, Buffalo has scored, and I'll just pull it up really quick here if my phone wants to, there we go. So that's when the low when you got good fast service. There we go. So until they run into the game, this badass defense, 24 against the Patriots, they muscled, a bolstering 18 points against the bum-ass Jets, 17 against the Chiefs, 16 against the Titans, 42-16 in that loss. They put up a 30 spot on the Raiders. They were scoring some points early, and then their offense just went like this. I think they show up with a false sense of security of what their offense is, and the Cardinals' defense is a lot better than Seattle's defense. Kyler Murray, coming off that loss, I think they want to go out and prove. I think they want to go. I'm sorry, y'all gotta excuse my son, man. I know he's crunked right now. But I think they want to go out and prove we should have won that last week. You know, all right, Miami, y'all got that one, but our coach blew that one. And then our kicker, when the ball kicked off 41-9, y'all like, damn, man, he's gonna make that. And they ended up short. I'm like, I haven't seen a short field goal under 50 yards in like 10 years in the NFL. Under short, left, right, you know, wide left, right, wide left, wide right, hit the crossbar, the upright, but to fall short, hey, I'll admit, Miami might have got out of there with one. I'll take the 5-3. But I think that brings Arizona back this week. Like, nah. We lost to an AFC East team last week. We're not letting another one come up here. This ain't Seattle's defense. I think I like the Cardinals big in this one. I think I like the Cardinals big in this one. So say that again.
What's the score on that? Give us the score.
I like 38-20.
18 points.
Yeah. Yeah, they had 31 last week. They probably should have had 38. They probably should have scored on another drive, right? You got to think about it. The scoop and score, the sack, scoop and score for Miami, that gave the defense a touchdown. I mean, if they go score on that drive, that's 38 right there. So
Bill's got a good defense, though, man.
That secondary's beat up though. That secondary's beat up. And last point, I'll let you go. I think Hopkins wants to kind of come back this week because he was quoted back in 2016. Xavier Howard talked about him pushing off a lot. When he was asked, his response was, "Who's Xavier Howard?" Last week, 3 catches. That's who Xavier Howard is, young man. And I think he wants to bounce back. I don't think Buffalo has an Xavier Howard. Yeah. So I like the Bills. I like the Cardinals at home, and I like them big.
I understand that. I'm going with the Bills on that. I'm gonna disagree with you on that. I do like the Cardinals.
You taking the Bills?
I'm taking the Bills. You know why? 2 words, man. Actually, I'll go 4. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. That's what's gonna win them the game.
You see this right here? Listen, I know Josh Allen's good. I just don't think he's as good as some other people think.
He's a problem, though. He's a problem because you gotta respect his legs. You gotta respect them.
We'll see. No, actually, I don't, because I'm a Dolphin fan. So I called him the bum-ass Bill. So, no. And if their colors weren't red, it's hard to stay away from red, white, and blue. If their colors weren't red, white, and blue, I wouldn't wear their shit neither. Give me a score.
I got 27-24 Bills.
Okay, so you like it kind of tight.
Bills run the clock out a lot, though. And so the Cardinals, I think it's going to be a lower score game just based off the game. It's going to be more. The clock's gonna be moving, not a lot of passing. And when they do pass, it's gonna be incomplete. I don't know, man. I'm just gonna take the Bills because they're the better team right now.
I don't know if I believe. I think Kenyon Drake might be back this week. I think they'll be able to run the ball a little more effective than it. I'm a huge Kyler Murray fan. I think last year I was on the Odd Couple on Fox Sports Radio filling in for Rob Parker. Did a show with Chris Broussard, and we had a whole segment going back and forth about Lamar Jackson. And I like Lamar Jackson, but when people were trying to say that he was better than Michael Vick, I almost wanted to throw up. And I'm from Virginia. I saw Michael Vick play in high school before Virginia Tech. Now, we didn't know he was going to be that Michael Vick, but we saw him play. Virginia's famous for black quarterback. AI was All-State and All-American. Aaron Brooks, if you remember Aaron Brooks, that at a UVA, that played for the Saints and played for the Cowboys and a few other teams, is out of Southern VA. EJ Manuel is out of Southern VA that went to Florida State, got drafted by the Bills. First-round draft pick quarterback. He shouldn't have been a first-round draft pick. Bills were just desperate and they reached, and EJ Manuel was never going to be that guy. But last year when people were like, well, he's going to beat Michael Vick's record in rush. I was like, I don't care. So, dog, Michael Vick was a hole. Listen, it's come out now. Michael Vick's admitted. He didn't even watch film, and he was still that damn good. The coaches got to a point where they figured he wasn't, so they were giving him blank disc. and then would come back and say, "Hey, so what'd you think?" "Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, that's good, it's good." And there weren't shit on him. He said he was throwing them in the trunk of his Benz. He was never even watching them, and he was still an icon. And like Michael Vick, people don't want to use this word loosely. Michael Vick is kind of like a cultural changing legend as far as the quarterback position is concerned. Michael Vick is so good. If you had to ask people, the two best video game football players of all time is Super Tecmo Ball, Bo Jackson, and it's Madden 2005, Mike Vick.
He was unstoppable. Like,
He was unstoppable. I used to hate when people used to pick the Falcons because I already knew what was about to happen. But I just, when people, I still look at Kyler Murray as could be the next Michael Vick. I'll go on a limb and say this. I give them 4 years before Arizona's in the Super Bowl. He's that good. Oh yeah, it could be the Cardinals versus the Dolphins. We'll see, but. Two young quarterbacks with futures super bright. I love Kyler Murray.
You're over here educating me, man, because I had no idea that Michael Vick threw the tapes like that, like he was Jamarcus Russell over here.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Jamarcus Russell did with the Raiders. And I just remember me showing up to my AAU tournament, young Saint, showing up looking at, hearing my coach say the Raiders drafted Jamarcus Russell. And I'm over here thinking we were going to get Calvin Johnson.
He was on. Hey, look, Jamarcus was facing a lot too. He was on the SERP. And Jamarcus was on the SERP in college. If you remember, if you go back to that year, it's the LSU game against Kentucky, and when Woodson was the quarterback for Kentucky started like 8-0 that year, number 1 ranked team. If you remember, Jamarcus fumbles twice on the one in that game, 2 separate drives, twice. And just right there, you could just see the light. He was big, but he always kind of looked like his body wasn't toned and he wasn't tight and put together. He was just a big guy. He wasn't ever really super toned and tight and put together. And that's what I can always remember from Jamarcus. And then, like I said, once again, once Jamarcus got on the SERP, it was it was over for him. That might be either him or Ryan Leaf. Might be the worst top 3 or 4 picks in the history of the NFL. If you want to go through all sports, if you remember, Sam Bowie was taken before Jordan. Portland, for some reason, Portland wanted a big man instead of, I know, right? God, Portland wanted a big man.
Pat Riley had to get talked out of that need to get Dwayne Wade.
Wow.
Big man. I remember I heard that on an interview where they had to convince him. They're like, "No, take D Wade. Like, don't." I couldn't. I'll name him next show. But then there was a name. There was a big man in that top 7. They were going to get.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up because
that was a guy. I remember Pat was like, "We need a big man. Like, don't drop your knee. This guy's a."
Portland did it twice because they took Greg Oden.
Bro, who saw Kevin Durant and said we're going to pick Greg Oden because and here's the thing, like Greg Oden had been getting hurt in high school.
Yep.
He got hurt in college. So my thinking was, why wasn't Kevin Durant the unanimous number 1 before that draft? I just remember all these NBA and they got it on film. All these famous people just Greg Oden. Like, you look like fools now because you went with the media narrative instead of going out and looking for yourself. Like Kevin Durant at Texas.
Well, I saw Kevin Durant in high school. Kevin Durant played for Montrose Christian Academy, which is in the DMV. I saw Kevin Durant play as a 16-year-old. I saw Kevin Durant play AAU for a team called DC Assault. It was Kevin Durant, it was Michael Beasley, it was Nolan Smith that went to Duke at Oak Hill Christian Academy in Mount Wilson, Virginia. Kevin Durant played for Montrose Christian Academy in Landover in PG County, Maryland. And I forget the high school that Michael Beasley, but I watched them in the AAU game put up like 145, 150 in a game before.
That one dude on IG, Lethal Shooter, was on that team, that same team.
Yeah. That was close. That was close to like the AAU or like the McDonald's games, like because I grew up in the DMV, and the McDonald's game used to come to the DMV from time to time, and it was there every year at one point. And then when it became the Jordan Brand game, Jordan was with the Wizards, so the game was in DC every year. So I went to the Jordan Brand game like 5 straight years, and so I saw LeBron, I saw Carmelo, I Tyson Chandler, I saw them all. If they were in the Jordan game, I saw them all. In the game that Kobe plays in the McDonald's game, my senior year in high school, Steven Jackson's in that game. Mike Bibby's in that game. They had some stars that would Ron Artest. They had some guys that would go on to be super dope NBA players that played in that game. So I got to see, high school wise, I got to see some of the best through AAU. So all right, one more and we'll wrap up this segment, man. Vikings and Bears. I like the Vikings in this one. You and I talked about that. I looked at the Vikings schedule the other day. The Vikings get past this. I can see about a 3 or 4 game run for the Vikings where they play some really, middle of the road bad teams. They're 3-5 now. I think they can push for a playoff spot. To me, they have the best running back in football in Dalvin Cook. I know there's Run DMC in Carolina, but I'll take Dalvin Cook first, especially coming off the ACL and the fact that he got his money and he's even playing better. Then we always love the players that get their money and then play better. Like, don't get your money and then turn into Zeke. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still may have the yards and the numbers, but it's just not the same. It doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. Don't turn into that guy. So I like the Vikings. The Bears have so many offensive problems. People want to blame Nagy. It's like, you do have Nick Foles as your quarterback. I'm not sure how much of that's on Nagy. The GM wanted to sign him and bring him in. I think they gave up on Mitch a little early. I know some people didn't like the kid, but quarterback to me is one of those positions, man, where everybody can't get Mahomes. Everybody can't have a Brady. Everybody can't have a Russ Wilson. Everybody can't. Sometimes you got to deal with the B guy and the B- guy, and that's just the way the league is. And if you go out and you move up in the 3rd round and you give up something to get somebody, if that's your guy, then that's your guy, buddy. I don't know what you want me to do. You're acting like you want to get down, but then you don't get down. There you go. Maybe he just wants to go back to sleep. I don't know. So, but yeah, I'll take the Vikings. I'll make this short, man. I'll take the Vikings. This isn't a hard one for me. And then just real quick, the bye teams. Bum-ass Jets, no game this weekend. Chiefs get a weekend off, so I feel sorry for whoever they play next week. Cowboys, they need it. And the Falcons, I hate to see the Falcons get it because the Falcons are on a 3-game win streak. Since they fired their coach and brought in Raheem Morris. And I think they should give Raheem Morris that job. They probably won't, but I think that they should. But we'll see how that all plays out. But those are the bye teams. But Vikings and Bears, who you got? Oh man, am I frozen here on IG? Oh, that's his connection on IG. See, this is what happened when you don't have the whole Wi-Fi. You just got the Y. You just got the WI. I don't think he has the whole Wi-Fi. Vero25, let me read some of these guys. I want to thank everybody for joining back in. Thanks to everybody that was on the last one that jumped back in on this one. I appreciate it. Say MT got paid and broke records. Who that? I'm trying to figure out who that is. Oh, Michael Thomas? Yeah, you're talking about Michael. If you're talking about Michael Thomas, yeah, I'll give you that. But we're not talking about the receiver position. We're talking about the running back position. The running back position is normally where guys get normally where guys get paid and then they're never the same player. They're never the same player again. That's normally on the running back position. So, yeah, just so you know, I was talking shit about you when your shit started scrolling. I said, this is what happens when you just got the Y and not the Wi-Fi. You got to have all 4 letters. You only had 2 of them shits. That's why your shit is messing up. But somebody was reading one of the comments. Somebody said Michael Thomas got paid and broke records. And I said, yeah, true. But we're talking about running backs. Running backs get paid and then go break records or get hurt and then go break records are way impressive than receivers. And I tell you this, I'll say this. Michael Thomas did do that. I'm not sure he's with the Saints next year. Like I said, I think there's something there, and I don't think he'll ever put up another season like that again. It's I guess I could say it kind of happens with these Ohio State guys. I know I'm being a Michigan man right now, but these Ohio State guys get paid, and sooner or later they get this ego and these. I remember Terrell Pryor. Terrell Pryor had to really be humbled down and become a receiver with your Raiders. Wasn't he? Was he a 1,000-yard receiver with y'all?
He had to go somewhere else to be a receiver.
That's right. He had to go somewhere else. That's right.
In Washington,
yeah.
Where he had
battle. Didn't he have a 1,000-yard season with the Redskins?
No. It was close. He had one good season, though, right?
Okay, yeah, he just had one good. That's right. He couldn't play quarterback for shit for your Raiders.
So, with quarterback, I mean, you saw he had the longest QB rush of all time in the history against the Steelers. So
I know.
Some Steelers fans might be upset about that. But I'm going to bring up Nagy, though, first. first.
Okay.
Nagy is completely responsible for getting the quarterback that he has. And the reason why he didn't go immediately Nick Foles is because if Nick Foles played terrible at first, how bad do you look to your organization that you brought this guy in? You could have went after other QBs. You thought this was the guy. And you're over here starting Trubisky first because if you start him first and he does bad, now I'm bringing my guy in to save the season that I brought in. And they're what are they at? 5-4 right now? He has in a way saved the season a little bit. It's still there. It's not thrown away yet like they're gonna, start needing tanking, but they're right there. Their defense is what's keeping them in, realistically. Their offensive line hasn't opened the holes up for Montgomery. Montgomery's getting hit a lot right from the start. He can't break 2 to 3 tackles. They gotta open the lineup for him. And you look at, we got Dalvin Cook, 858 yards of 144 carries, 12 TDs. I don't know if the Bears can really contain him when you also got to contain the receivers. Thielen and Jefferson, I like the Vikings this game. I like them. I'll probably go 34-21.
Yeah, the Bears are in trouble. The Bears have lost 4 of their last 6. They get the Vikings in a bye. They have to come off a bye and play the Packers. They get the Lions division game. Texas, they should get that one. They get the Vikings and the Packers twice. So four of their last 8 games, half of their games are against 2 teams. They're going to play the Packers twice. They're going to play the Vikings twice. In my opinion, that's 4 losses right there. They already got 3, so that's got them at 7 right there. If they drop any of these other games, they're an 8-8. They got the Jags. They have the Texans and they have the Lions other than the Vikings and the Packers these twice. They drop any of those games, they're an 8-8 football team. I'm not sure if that's saving. And then Elene Y. I'm not sure if I pronounced that.
Allen.
Huh?
Allen.
Oh, that's Allen. All right. Allen says David Montgomery. Thanks, Allen, for joining in, man, and being on the show. I appreciate you.
No, I just forgot. I actually forgot about that. They're starting Ryan Dahl this week.
Yeah, so David Montgomery's not playing.
The running back committee this week. So
yeah.
I did forget about that.
No, they got a lot of issues. The Bears are in trouble. The defense is fine. We know that, but defense with no offense gets you 8-8, gets you 7-9.
But I also want to bring up on a point before we forget on Thomas. So, like you said about Michael Thomas, he's gonna get traded. You thought he was a big player to get traded at the trade deadline. This is Drew Brees' retirement season. Like, to me, he's done after this year. But you don't give up a guy like Michael Thomas on a retirement season. Like, for me, in my understanding, it's all off season. Just because NFL isn't like and NBA is still complicated, but even NFL feels even more complicated with the hard cap, where you can make big time deals at the trade deadline. It's usually minor deals, like somebody needs a QB or a defender just doesn't want on that team, but they're not a huge salary piece that they're moving. Usually they're on a cheaper contract about to be paid, like Jalen Ramsey. The Jalen Ramsey deal, he hadn't got paid until he got to the Rams, and then the Rams paid him after that. Usually you gotta get guys that haven't got paid and then give up those 2 first-round picks, second-round picks. Like, that's the only way I see those type of deals happening. Unless you're the Raiders and trade the 4th-round pick for Antonio Brown and then give him more money when he never needed that extra money. But screws himself over because all he had to do was play 1 week to get the $30 million guarantee. He couldn't get to week 1.
Yeah,
He can't get to 1 week.
Yeah,
he got $30 million, bro.
He's got Antonio. Antonio's got issues, bro. Like I pull for him. I hope he gets his shit together, but it's just too much. He had to, and I'm not going to run his laundry, but he's got a list of laundry, and it's just listen. One person says it, I get it, but there was the moving company, there was the police being called to his house, and some lady issues. It's like Big Ben, right? 3 different women, dog, in 3 different cities.
About that.
Yeah, 3 different women in 3 different cities didn't just all come together and say, oh, let's make up this story about Big Ben and how his security guard blocks the bathroom. Like, come on, bro. Like, I get one person or one, like Mike Tyson, right? Out of all the women that probably had the opportunity to do that to Mike Tyson, it's this one pageant lady, and I'm not saying he did it. I wasn't there. What I'm saying is, to me, there's a difference in one, and it's like the president, the current president, 26 women, dog, 26 sexual assault allegations against you, B? Like, and I'm not here to be political. I'm just talking humanity. Like 26 people. If there's 30 writers and 26 says you're the MVP, you're probably the MVP. Those other 4 can say it's somebody else, but yeah, all right, bro. These 26 we probably gonna roll with because majority wins. So, and you said you're taking the Vikings, right?
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings.
All right, and we got a sandwich and a ginger ale on the. Is it the Niners and Saints game?
Not that game.
No. Wait, hold on. What we got the sandwich and ginger? Oh, the Seahawks.
Seahawks. Yeah.
Seahawks and Rams game. So we got sandwich and ginger ale on that one, man.
That's the easy W for me.
Oh my God, an easy W for you.
I'm trying to spot right now. I'm gonna head over city over there.
Hey, listen, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. Just let you know right now. I'm the type of guy, sarcastically, most times that I don't lose. I win all the. I'm like the president. I win all the time. So the only way Sage can ever beat me in football pitch. The only way. A lot of people say it. A lot of people think it. The only way. I have a crying baby. You have to excuse me. But the only way that you can beat me is by fraud. You cannot beat me. I will not lose to you, Sage. So just listen, man. Like I said, and I already know where I want to go get my sandwich. We can get a nice sandwich. So you want to come get a sandwich and chips on Sage Alvarez? Because he's going to get us. Say, you see his face? That's how he last way like, hold on, he picked against you, Daddy? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He picked against Daddy. Tell everybody where they can see you, man, and meet you up, man. I'm about to close this show out. Damn, this has been a great one. I love doing long radio. I'm going on 2 hours and 45 minutes. I do this shit, baby. Let's go. Tell everybody where they can meet you, Sage.
I do this, bro. That's real work. Hey, man, follow me at Instagram at SageTorres28 and at Twitter at Sage_Alvarez28. Come follow me, man. We got some great content coming out, man. I'm glad to be on the show today.
Awesome. I'm glad you can make it too, man. Have yourself a great week. We'll talk. We'll be in touch this weekend. I'm probably gonna get on the air and do some college football tomorrow morning. I wanted to get to it today, but NFL picks was so great, man. So, and just to let everybody know, I'm still pushing for my 85-15 on my picks so far, because I follow all the games, and I think I missed just one weekend, but every other weekend. So 8 weekends worth of picks. I'm 47-26-1. But some teams didn't show up for me. I should be more like 54-17, which is phenomenal. But there's some teams, man, that just laid freaking eggs for me this season on some of my picks. But I'll take my 47-26-1. And if you want, you can start keeping your record from here on out. You got 6 weeks to keep your record. Bro, what's the deal? What's going on? Daddy's wrapping up.
We gotta get another bet on that. Who finished off the last
Okay. You know, Sage, look, man, you don't want none of this, Sage. Don't get too big for your britches now, son. So don't get too big for your britches now, son. Oh, God. Let me end this, man. Yo, I appreciate you, man. Stay blessed. I'll let you later today.
Appreciate you, man. I'll talk to you soon, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Sage.
Appreciate you, bro.
My man, Sage Alvarez from Sage Alvarez Sports tuning in. We're going to wrap up today's show, man. My son, I know y'all hear him. Y'all have to excuse the noise. I appreciate you guys dealing with it and sticking with me, though, man. But we're going to end this. Go ahead. Talk the rest of the show. Here, you want to talk? You want to make so much damn noise? Here, let's go. Tell them your picks. Who you got this weekend? Who you like in the Dolphins game? Huh? Who you like? Is Tampa Bay going to bounce back? Here, you want to talk? You want to make so much noise? Oh, now you don't. Now you all shocked. VJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct. I want to appreciate Sage Alvarez. I want to appreciate everybody on my live that joined in. Thank you guys so much. This is always so much fun. I'm building something special here with Vesta Sports with the network, guys, man. Keep following me. Great picks this weekend. Great stuff. Also, too, I didn't get a chance to talk to Sage about Russell Westbrook. We'll get into more. We'll let this Russell Westbrook story develop, and then we'll come back to it. But like I said, stop telling me he's a bad player. Nobody wants to play with him. Stop that shit. 23-7-8-7 over his career. Matching numbers with guys you guys are calling to go. No, he didn't have the championships. I get all of that, but you guys want to just go by numbers. You're doing what they say you're supposed to do, man. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. Alan, thanks a lot, brother, for joining in. Who else we got here? Ortega80 had joined. Appreciate you. Beckin in a million. Is that Beckin a million? Did I say that right? I want to appreciate you. I'm going to go, man. Y'all hear what I'm dealing with right now. He's in this little early morning mood right now. So, VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, man. Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio. You guys stay blessed. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning for college football talk and maybe a little more NFL if something great happens today. But mostly college football picks and stuff. Are you ready to say here? Say bye. Say bye. Look what you're doing. Look how you look on social media right now. No, look how you look. I want you to see yourself. I want you to see yourself. I want you to see yourself. VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, man. I see you guys. Spreaker.com.